Boom! Hello and welcome to the Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Byron Rodgers. This podcast is dedicated to the executive protection practitioner, the private security professional. In this podcast, we're going to talk about the mental, emotional, psychological, physiological fitness that goes into being an efficient and effective executive protection agent. Whether you're in law enforcement, whether you're a mom that's looking at how to protect her children, or a father that's focused on how to protect his family, I believe this podcast has something for all of you. We might even get into some tales from the crypts of true Hollywood stories from time to time. I'm doing this podcast because I feel the reality of this job is simple. If you really want to be good at executive protection, it's more than just a job. It really is a lifestyle. And those of you who've been in the game for any serious amount of time, you already know what I'm saying is true. So if that sounds interesting to you, enjoy the show. Out. And if you haven't already, get your tickets for the Protector Symposium. The first annual Protector Symposium is taking place in Riverside, California, November 15th and 16th. We've got an all-star lineup of seriously elite trainers. Yosef Badu, Ed Caldrone, and Mike Pannone are all going to be there teaching and instructing us on, well, our common goal, how to make good people more dangerous. So no matter what your background is, you're going to learn skills around the one unifying principle of protection. Get your tickets. Spots are going quickly. And remember, you're going to get over $100 worth of value back in different things that you're going to get from our sponsors with your purchase of a ticket. Check the website out, Byron Rodgers Motivation, for ticket information and to learn more. Out. Boom. Hey, what's going on, you guys? Byron Rodgers here with Bravo Research Group, a private security company out of Southern California, executive protection lifestyle, with another episode. I've got Drew Estell here with me today. Definitely going to be a good interview. We're going to talk about some fun stuff, and I'm looking forward to it. How you doing, Drew?
Good, man. I can't complain at all. I'm excited to be on here and get to chat with you for a bit.
Heck yeah. No, that's what's up, man. I'm looking forward to this. I remember kind of the first time I stumbled across your brand and what you were doing. Another gentleman who owns a boutique private security company out here named Charles Law was we were doing some stuff, cold and on-demand drills at the beginning of a range day. That's what it was. Yep. And I was like, cold and on-demand. I love this concept because it's the reality of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we do. Mm-hmm. When you go to guns, heaven forbid, it's going to be cold and on-demand. Yes. And I thought that was just so valuable because, you know, I'm sure you've seen it a million times. We go to the range with folks. And they pull out their firearm that they're supposed to be real intimate with, and it's supposed to be an extension of them. Oh yeah. And you can tell instantly that they just haven't been procuring that relationship. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they're just kind of shaking and bowling and really insecure with their weapons manipulation and unsure, you know. So that drill really kind of helped me realize that, we need to focus on making sure that confidence is there when it comes time to do the death dealing or life saving, aspect of what our jobs can be.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah, man. And that drill was pushing. It was a good way to push us. It's a good litmus test, man.
Yeah, it really is, man. I think that's something that I think the target and that standard kind of became bigger than I have, and I kind of, that's kind of what I became known for. And that was a good marketing thing, first of all. But at the end of the day, we designed that for exactly what you're talking about. It's, for me, I designed it I want to see where students are at right off the bat. First thing in a class, or for them to understand what they're at, just something there. Simple concept. Here's the different things I want to test. Just lit it on the range and drew some boxes on an IPSC target. Was like, yeah, it sounds about right. It's like 3. Now let's make it 5 rounds. Because grip breaks down from 3 to 5 rounds, and the average person, intermediate to basic. Cool. Let's get a transition in there. Let's reload. Easy to speed up, hard to slow down. So let's see if people have throttle control, and let's test it and put a time standard on it, right? But it's achievable. It's not anybody can make that standard. And from a cold start, I think if you're a competent shooter from a cold start, you've got your ducks in a row. You're mentally strong person, you're not going to let social stress or self-induced stress or, the jitters get to you or something like that. You can step up, be confident yourself. You can execute that thing in 9 seconds from 5 meters. If you do faster, great. But it's like all of life. And you know this, man. It's in the job. It's pass or fail. It's a no-fail mission. So you fucking pass it or you fail it. I don't care if you can run it in 4.8 seconds with one miss. You missed. So, congratulations. I'd rather you do it in 5.5, 6 seconds or 7 or 8.99, and get all your hits. So, but do that every single time. So, yeah, man, that's kind of where it came from, and it's been good. I see that thing all the time. Check my phone, and it's probably like, you have 7 new, little
tags
bubbles on the IG, like little bubble, like you didn't mention.
Yeah.
It's just running the Bear standards drill. And I'm like, cool, get it. Get out there and do it, man.
Heck yeah. Bear standards drill, y'all. Get after it. Figure out where you're at. Figure out where maybe you should be and run that trash cold and on demand.
Yeah. Sure. Yep.
That's what's up, man. That's the only way to do it. So you're a firearms instructor, trainer, all those things, but and I'm not sure what else, we're going to get into all that stuff, but was there like a moment in your career where like the light bulb went off and you were kind of like, this is the type of stuff I want to be doing for the course of my life? A story that kind of sticks with you to help us understand you.
That's a good question, man. It was probably sometime around the last few years of my time in the military. About a year out of the military, I kind of knew that my time was, and I'm not going to lie, I stretched my last year in the military out quite a bit. Because thank you for your tax dollars. It's a free paycheck and they let me, right?
Right.
Yeah, I got medically discharged and we did the writing was on the wall medically. I couldn't continue, right? It was a bad idea to keep going. And the doctors were like, you're stupid if you keep going in the military. I'm like, all right. So
you're like, what does that mean to me? Stupid. Like, what?
That's, we are the definition of
how do you think I got here?
I just care about right now. One more deployment, one more mission.
Like stupid in civilian standards or stupid in like grunt standards?
Yeah. It's like we're all holding out for the big mish,
Right.
Like I'm going to be there. It's going to happen, like again, just one more.
You guys have thought I was stupid the whole time.
You have no idea. But it was kind of, I just really love shooting. And, the last few years, I went from my ODA, which is a Halo team, a phenomenal team. I was on for about 7.5 years, 7.5 years, something like that. Then I went over to our SIF company, and I got to see guys that instead of having that broad spectrum, being good at everything instead of great at one thing, we went to the SIF where you're assaulting, you're shooting. It's just that, for the most part. We had other mission sets in there, don't get me wrong, but that was our bread and butter.
Stands for?
The Commanders in Extremis Force, or the CRIF is actually what it's called now. Sorry, the Commanders, Commanders Response Force, right? So CRIF. Yeah, so it's basically you're an assault team set up, whatever, and you have 2 troops in a company versus 6 ODAs, right? So you got a sniper team and 2 assault teams, and you're broken up into assault cells and sniper cells. Sweet. But a little different than an ODA, but very specialized on the CQB. And it was a great time being over there. I couldn't be over there too long. Got one deployment with them, and then several training events. But it was medical stuff happened right after that, and I was like, well, shit, So around there was shooting. Like I absolutely love shooting. And I got the opportunity to, when I showed up, I wasn't the best shooter in the SIF. And that was eye-opening. And, it took a little work, but I came one of the better shooters over there. And a lot of the guys were like, hey man, work with the newer guys before they go to Sephardic, which is our course you have to pass. So I trained up a lot of the new guys. I think the other guys on the team were like, we don't have the patience to deal with new guys. And you talk okay, and you seem like you like teaching people, which I do. And so I had the new guys, and I trained them up, take them through shooting drills, everything else. And it just worked out well. Almost every one of those guys I trained up passed, I think. One guy might not have. One guy didn't, and we ended up letting him go from the company, I think. But other than that, all the guys did really well. Just kind of had a knack for it, and I realized how much I really enjoyed seeing a guy that was like, what do I do? How do I don't understand this. And going, hey man, I've made all the same mistakes you're making right now. Do this. Now do this. Now let's progress that. And I kind of got to cut my teeth on that. Then after that, being on the SIF, when I left, I went and headed up a different program, which was kind of this giant excuse to carry a gun on base. It was called the Armed Sentry program, like for for active shooters, like so SF guys carrying guns. And at the end of the day, it was just really good low vis concealed carry training for our guys. So I was the manager of that program, and then I helped instruct it along with the instructors. And I just like helping people because I hate to see people frustrated going, man, I can't do this. The fact is, like, yeah, you can. I don't give a shit who you are. You've seen some of the best shooters in the world. You would never know walking down the street that guy's the best shooter in the world, you know? And
that's a true statement.
Yeah. Like, you can do this. It's simple concepts that are really hard to apply. You just got to figure it out. And I just really love seeing those guys, taking them, working with them, and making them better to where they were successful. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this for a living. So I did.
Heck yeah. Two things. I love everything you said about that with the not recognizing who the shooters are and who they're not. I got a lot more since I've been competing. Like, I respect everybody, but like, I got a lot more respect for Filipinos, bro.
Yeah. What the hell is, I was joking. Yeah. It's the Asians and the Filipinos.
Yeah, man.
Like, and this is going to sound a little whatever, right? But stereotypes. Something about math, being a doctor, violins, and like shooting. They are just good at it.
They're up in it, bro.
I don't know what it is. Like the
we
focus.
We play basketball, but that's that stuff. They're killing it, man. Like, I mean, there's like a 21-year-old girl at where I shoot, and she's smoke checking everybody. Her name's Claudia. Most people listening that are in the shooting community probably know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not even trying to keep up with her. She's cooking with tartar sauce. I'm over here trying to figure stuff out. But yeah, man, I learned a lot about like, you don't know who's who in the zoo. And then you're talking about watching someone get better and understanding, that they can do it. And I that strikes a vein with me because I'm the same way, man. Like, because I remember where I came from with stuff. And so like really empowering people is something that just gets me jacked just because I just am like, man, if I can get up in here and do some of the things I've been able to get away with by the grace of God, like I love seeing a person who doesn't, well, it breaks my heart when I see a person who doesn't see their potential and then being able to experientially and explain to them, like get them to a place where they see that potential and then they're willing to do what's necessary to earn that value that comes from unlocking that potential. Boom. That stuff's awesome.
It is, man. It's like we had when I was in were you in the military before? Or?
Marine Corps. Yeah.
Marine Corps, that's right. I couldn't remember if it was Army or Marine. I won't hold the Marines against you. I'm just kidding. I love Marines. I love Marine infantry guys. They're Marines, dude. They're always getting done. But
that's what's up.
You're probably like me. You got out, and it was kind of like a purpose or a motivation or a reason for like that mission. You know what I mean? It was kind of missing, and I kind of saw that on the writing on the walls getting. I was like, what's going to be my purpose?
Yeah.
I'm sure same with you. It went from helping our country and fighting for our country and at a large scale, that macro scale, we kind of shrunk down to now I can just isolate those individuals. And when someone comes here, I can say, hey man, I'm going to give you, or gal, because I had a lady in the classes last time. I have plenty of women that come. They can shoot just as well as men. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
For example,
equalizer. You better be able to bang. Don't think. Don't
for example,
you're a dude. Yeah.
Lena Michalek, she's going to outshoot all of us, right?
Yep. It's going to happen.
Harrison. Yeah.
And
just
Claudia Vadonis, just forget about it. Someday, you just forget about it.
So just going to that purpose on an individual level and saying, all right, now I get to help just you and hopefully make a difference in their lives. And that's the coolest thing ever. Like it makes the long flights, the up at 4 a.m. to drive an hour to the range in your hotel when you're on Central Time and now you're on East Coast or West Coast time and your hours are all jacked up. You get 2 hours of sleep a night. By the time you got home, you're sleeping all day the next day. It's like 4 a.m. to 9 or 10 at night. That's what a class is. You know, it's long. And then, I don't know, you just see those people happy and you're like, done. I made them 5% or 10% better and they can believe in themselves. It's a really cool thing, man.
Heck yeah. It's more valuable than the money. The fact that you get to do what you want to do is like awesome if you can get the money out of it to be able to sustain that. But like when you're unlocking those responses from people, it's validating your work. It's validating what you're passionate about. This is something more valuable than money. I swear to you. It's and that, if everyone can understand that one thing about living their life, finding your purpose and then doing something that's in alignment with that, even when you're not getting paid, before you start getting paid, it makes quality of life shoot through the sky, man.
It does.
No, that trash is huge. And yeah, man, when I was getting out, it was kind of the same thing. It was like, I remember being like, yo, I got to figure out this purpose thing. And I think a lot of guys, the guys that perish in that little valley right there, it's failing to find that new fight. Cause as a warrior, I've found that a lot of warriors are just warriors. And I find that at the genesis of what we do, it's serving on a higher level. Like we, at the Marine Corps, like, I had a heart to be able to serve my country or whatever. But then I really start realizing, like, what are we doing here? I'm becoming strong enough. I'm becoming more specialized. I'm becoming more lethal in order to be able to serve my country on a level and in a way that many people can't. It's really what's going on. And I kind of see that translate out into the civilian sector when guys do, choose vocations, become first responders. And, it's like a warrior without a fight. It's like, you don't know how to serve. And I think the guys that are successful are the guys that find a place to still serve, and, for you and for me, in a lot of ways, it's empowering others to be able to do the things that you train them to do.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. That's good stuff, man. Heck yeah. So at your core, we are kind of messing around with this question already. Who are you at your core, man, if you were going to break it down?
Oh, man,
soul searching, man. We're soul searching right now.
Deep question right there.
Yeah, brother.
So, I don't know, just a guy, right? Like no better than anybody else. So I'm married. I got a wife and a 4-year-old daughter. Honestly, the daughter's waking up from a nap here in a minute before they go to the gym. You might hear a knock on the door. So we'll let her say hi as she comes in here.
Heck yeah. It's all awesome. About the lifestyle.
Yeah, man. She's a hoot. I've been married for, oh shit. Don't tell my wife this. She's not going to listen anyway, but still 8 years, I think.
Yeah.
Going on 9. I think this year will be 9 years.
Heck yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. It's been good. And joined the Army right after my 3rd freshman year of college, which is a feat in and of itself, right? 3 years in college, you couldn't get past freshman year. three colleges, different colleges, 3 different years.
No, I think
I don't know. A dean told me before he kicked me out the second time, he was like, you have to try to do this. I was like, yeah, you're probably right. Like, what are you going to do with your life? I was like, I'm going to join the Army. He's like, I think that's a great idea.
Great idea for you.
You should go do that. I was like, all right. So that was kind of writing on the wall for me. And I always kind of knew my uncle's a Green Beret, and I always wanted to be a Green Beret. So did that, joined the Army, and spent in 2006, got to my team in 2008, and spent from 2008 to 2018 in the in 5th Special Forces group the entire time. So I was really fortunate.
Man, that's fantastic.
Yeah, dude. So that, I like to, the whole long walks on the beach. Kind of touched on a lot of it. I like shooting, working out. I'm kind of a weird dude. I'm a little bit different, right? And by that, I mean,
how do you mean?
You walk into our pantry and you open it up and you're like, you don't have any like real food, do you? It's like gluten-free. It's all healthy crap. I got my mat in the corner. There's a gym in the garage. Like I just got done working out, try to do jujitsu. So it's a weird balance of stuff. I think people hear me talk and then I'll mention something and like, oh yeah. And kind of like in yoga, right? And they're like, what? Yeah. What did you just say?
You're like, are we going to have to fight right now?
Yeah. Like I don't, it's all good stuff. So
yeah.
Man, just kind of do me and try not to assume. And that's it really. Just wife, kid, live for them and make everything better. And God, and obviously a Christian guy. So everything I do is to bring glory to his name and try not to make an ass of myself in the process and disappoint my friends. But that's it, man.
That's awesome, man. No, I dig it. I dig everything you're saying. I find a lot of us have these kind of more eclectic, things we like to do and like stuff that we're into. Yeah. If the eclectic's even the right word, it sounded good.
Eclectic words.
Yeah. Like most of us, I think we're artists, and I think a lot of that people try to be like, nah, but I think usually a healthy dude with a healthy ego, he's got his things he likes, his little proclivities. Yeah. I'm trying to think of some of mine because I have some weird ones too. And I'm all about a lot of different things. And I think it's beautiful, man. It's an art and everything.
Yeah. Like I played college football and then I'm from Texas. So if you're from Texas, you play football. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I actually played lacrosse too, went to college for both. And then, but then it's like I got out. It's like, oh, I really like oh, that's cool. Let's, I'll look at art or like movies or, do yoga now and all sorts of crap. I still love football and Jack and Steel, but there's a lot of cool stuff out there. Different's not wrong. You know what I mean? Like, just be able to appreciate all of it. So it's kind of my thing.
Heck yeah. I was listening to Pat Mack talk about how he likes bird watching the other day, bro. Yeah. Like, ain't no shame in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the like toughest, baddest dudes, we had a guy, we called him Captain America. He was a support dude for us. He could not go SF because he didn't have a spleen. So he thought, okay, well, I'll go do even something, like more, I guess you could say, like a tier 1 unit. He ended up going to a tier 1 unit. He was an operator over there. He was a direct combat support guy for us. Don't say his name, but this guy was an all-American kid, right? Well, you'd see him reading books in the corner. He's got like these weird sci-fi novels. You're like, what? Where the hell did that come from? Like, we're like protein, gym, and you got a damn sci-fi
Goosebumps.
It's like, I love the Lord of the Rings, bro. I like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Okay. That dude's a man amongst men, He's just a tough dude. It's like reading weird sci-fi novels, it's his thing. And I'm like, all right, whatever, dude.
You get BA enough, you can do whatever the heck you want. I had a buddy, Konstantinovs. He's a power lifter. He's like famous power lifter. Yeah. One of the guys that like brought me up in the game of executive protection, man. We're on some of the same details. He like taught me the ways of the samurai, right? But the Jedi and stuff. God bless him. He's passed away since. But he had this thing for little dogs, man. And so I'm out with this guy. Looks like he eats humans. He's like 280 pounds, 6% body fat. He's like Ivan Drago's ugly big brother from Rocky IV. He's got a knife wound on his neck, not from a slash. Someone stabbed him. It didn't work. You know what I mean? Like this guy is the guy from Street Fighters. And he just like this over me, and he sees a little dog, oh, puppy, and he comes in, he's grabbing the dog. The owner's like, don't eat my dog, don't eat my dog. Like this guy, he's one of the strongest men on the planet at one point in time. This dude looks so gangster. Me and him were standing outside of a store in Beverly Hills doing our jobs with a client inside. They called the cops just because we were standing there on the sidewalk out front of the store that was getting robbed. But he loved poetry and he loved little dogs.
Yeah. Why? Because he can.
Because he can. Exactly. You know what? That's really what it is. It's because we can.
That guy's as confident as he wants to be. What are you going to do? Make fun of him? He's like, oh, I squat 1,000 pounds. And
Right.
I'll read poetry all damn day.
Right. I'll flip your car over too.
I wish more people could be like that. Just quit caring about the image. Just you do you, man. It's all cool. Just do you.
Right. So, I dig it. That's what's up, man. What would you say your mission is now these days?
Oh yeah. And you're coming out of the gate with some deep questions.
With some heat, son. It's that psychology degree, bro.
I know. I'm glad I went and worked out. I got my blood flowing, got the endorphins going. So my mission now, big thing is, one, don't ever disappoint my family. At the end of the day, no matter what you do, they're the ones that are going to be there for, ever. I was going to have my daughter, I was going to have everybody else. And when she grows up, I don't want her to walk around and go, oh, do you know who that is? And that's Drew Estell's kid. Oh my God, that guy's an idiot, right? I want people to say, hey, that guy brought value. Like wherever he went, he brought value. He helped people. He did the right thing. At the end of the day, for me, it's kind of like the mirror test or the rocking chair test. If you've ever heard those. Like at the end of the day, you got to be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, did you do everything you could have done today? Did you make your family proud? Did you make yourself proud? Are you ashamed to look yourself in the mirror? And my thing is, I don't want to be that person. Yeah. The other one, the rocking chair test, when you're an old man sitting on that rocking chair in your front porch in your living room and the grandkids are sitting around and they go, hey, Grandpa, tell me about this. And you're like, oh, yeah, I remember my time, and here we go. We could be back in my day, and it was hard. We didn't have, optical holographic projection,
with iron sights
that just shot where we looked. Like we actually had to point the gun, right? Like whatever it may be. Like I want to be able to, like when those grandkids are there, to be able to tell them stuff that I've done, not because it's bragging, but I want to,
contribute,
inspire them, like to say, wow, Grandpa did this, no, he's not exactly the tallest dude in the world. He looks old and wrinkly now, but like, look at him. Like he did this, I can do this too. Whether you're, it's my daughter, grandkids, or boys, girls, I don't give a shit. We're all warriors in a different way. Yep. So I just hope that I can set an example in my life, do the right thing to make those around me proud, that they're always proud to be around me and be associated with me. Those people that walk around and like, oh, I don't want to go over here because this person thinks that or whatever. Like, that is not the way to live. Do the right thing, do it all the time, and good things will come, man. Like, people see that over time. Otherwise, you're just, bottle rockets, right? They take off, never hear from them again. Like, I don't want to be that person. Long-term success, obviously, bring glory to God and all that stuff, and do right by my family and my friends. So people say they're proud to be associated with me, and that's really it. It's trying to help as many people along the ways I can.
Help people.
Yeah, that's the mission, man. Just do the right thing and do it well.
Yeah, I keep hearing contribute, man. You want to contribute heavy, make good contributions and stuff like that.
That's a good word for it.
Heck yeah. No, I've been kind of soul searching with myself and the stuff and why I'm doing stuff I'm doing. And yeah, brother, that's the same thing here, man, too, is like, I don't want the grace that's been shown to me be in vain. That's really kind of main drivers for my behavior on one level, knowing that I've been blown the heck up in Iraq and shouldn't be here, taking the IEDs I took and stuff by the grace of God. And then all the trash that happened there. And then also just, I look out the window, this trash is a miracle, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I could go for another 30 minutes about how much of a scientific straight up just, all we have is hypotheses and postulations about half this trash, dude. And like, we're walking around here sentient. You ever seen the number of what the probability of us being conscious is mixed with the probability of this stuff I'm having outside the window is? Like, I can't let this one shot be in vain, man. That's a sobering thought. So contribution drives me too, man. It's like, I might not do it all right, but let me just die tired and with that mirror test, look at myself and my God in the face and be like, I made a lot of ham. I went hard, man.
Well, I think you can probably say this too. Like, we're all a product of our experiences, whether good or bad. We learn from it, but we've had a lot of people over the years that have invested in our success. Just like you said, your buddy, was it Constantine? Constantine. I would call him Drago because I remember you said like that Drago. Yeah,
Costi. Yeah, Drago.
So like guys like that have invested in you. They've taken the time to say, hey, I see potential in this person. I see value. I'm going to invest my time into making this person better. And the same for me. Like when I got to my team, I was a 23-year-old kid. If I would have gone to a different team, maybe I wouldn't be who I am today. I just know that I'm very fortunate that I did get a 5.324, 5.84, that ODA, and had guys like Doug, Chad, Joe, Captain Bill Heffron, all these guys and my teammates around me. Like, they invested time in me. Same thing. All the leaders I've had and peers and everything else, and even the juniors, you don't want to disappoint them. Don't make their work in vain too. Like, you owe them to be better every day and keep going because they took that time, man, years sometimes. Wow. So that's a big motivator for me too.
Heck yeah, no, that's huge, dude. I agree 100%. And also carrying on that legacy, dude, that they like took the time to try to like you got jersey, you got people's names on your jersey as far as I'm concerned. If you come from a lineage that you're proud of, like Marine Corps, that trash follows you around forever. Like coming from where you're from, like, nah, man, like I mess up. It's not just Byron messed up. It's Byron messed up. My company, Bravo Research Group messed up.
You just made the Marine Corps look bad.
Yeah, exactly. Me one. Yeah, I mean,
you represent the Marines now. Same thing with me. I represent SF. Like, dude,
do
something stupid. They're like, it's an SF guy. Fuck yeah. Like, oh, great. There's 1,000 guys that I just disappointed and made them look bad because of my one action.
Who worked really hard to get there. And now it's even more like you can zoom it out even more. I mean, you're on an EP detail. You made your client's reputation look bad. You zoom out again and your company, whatever company you're working for, zoom out again. Now there's another black guy on the news acting stupid. There's a Caucasian male acting stupid out there. I'm saying? Like, oh no, so you got considerations. There's toxic masculinity, you know what I'm saying? Because cool and stabs him on the back of a cab because he's having a bad day. Can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Yeah. And everybody in this industry or this lifestyle, I guess you could say, that's listening to this, you represent all of us.
Right.
If you're that guy walking into Starbucks with your high point on your hip and a fucking AK strapped to your back upside down with a magazine in backwards or some bullshit, like, you're a meme and you represent all of us. Yeah. Like, thank you very much. Conduct yourself accordingly because the actions of one will affect many. And it's
detrimental.
It's a lot of weight, man. I don't think people realize it, but just do the right thing. You'll be fine.
Yeah, dude. Because there is nothing worse for the shooting community than when some shooter out there is doing something stupid, and we're all like, because they're trying to take all our rights away on the strength of one or two stupid people. I mean, a lot of these laws come from like, who made this law have to even be a thing? You know what I mean? So you guys get good training, make good decisions. Yeah, rookies buy hardware, professionals, intelligent people invest in software. You know what I'm saying? So get some good stinking training, man.
Absolutely.
From this guy. This guy does good training. Favorite quote, mantra, anything like that? Saying.
Man, I've never been a real big quote guy.
Okay.
Man, dude, if you'd asked me 10 minutes ago, I probably could have told you mantra. Okay, you know what? I'll take that back. My team sergeant one time, so we were in Afghanistan in 2012, and that was a really good deployment for me. I was a E6 staff sergeant, and I was filling the job of an E7, which is our Fox, our intel guy in the SF team. Mm-hmm. And I pretty much got the job about a week prior to briefing the command on this deployment, because our Fox, he had some issues, family stuff, he couldn't go. So our team sergeant said, "Hey, man, you're the Fox." Oh, but this is Friday or Thursday. And he's like, "By the way, Monday, you're going to brief the group commander on our entire plan." I was like, "Oh, okay.
No big deal. I'm going to go have some beers."
Hashtag NBD. I got this, right?
Right.
So on that deployment, whatever was good, it was a kind of a leadership role in a way, because I was responsible to make sure everybody knew what was going on, threats, everything else, and preparing the team for that. So during that deployment, we had some CSTs attached to us, cultural support team, and basically women, attached to SF. And they were good. They did a good job at what they were supposed to do. They integrated into the team and everything else. And I remember we were doing a mission one night. We're trying to set up like an ambush or something on these guys that were trying to blow up like a radio tower or whatever. So we're talking about setting up an ambush and waiting for them. Mm-hmm. Long story short. So we had the intel on it, and we were looking at the task order. And somebody got upset, like, hey, I'm not going to say who it was. It wasn't man, woman, team guy, support dude, because we had some infantry and tankers attached to us to help us out. So there's anywhere from like 20 to 24 people on our base at one time. That's it. Like, we had 3 towers to guard every night. There's 20 to 24 of us. Like, we had 18 guys, and the rest were all support. And we were like, great, better big boy rules. Like, get your shit on. Like, we're going to have to do. You're not a private anymore. Yeah,
no one's wiping anyone's butt out here. Like, it's just not how we're doing it.
Yep. So we're looking at the task.
Manpower for it.
Yeah, exactly. So we're looking at the task org, and we're going over something, and somebody was like, "Hey, why aren't I on the mission? Like a task org, like I should be on this mission." Blah blah. And my team sergeant, and right for them, they want to go out. And the team sergeant, Doug, he looked at him and he says, "What's our mission?" And they were like, "Well, it's to do this." He's like, "What's your job?" He's like, "Well, my job is this, this, and that." He's like, "Okay, is that here on this mission?" Got kind of quiet.
Crickets.
Like, "Well, no, but I can do it just as good as everybody." I'm like, and Doug handled it really professionally. He's like, and all I said was, mission drives training, mission drives task org. Like, the mission is all that matters, is accomplishing the mission. So our task org is put together. We put the best people on the field that are there to accomplish that mission. Our training, whatever we do in training, is driven, whether we want to do it that way or not, for our mission. And the mission drives everything. Everything's centered around the mission. So I've always remembered that and been like, what is my mission? What is it? Whether it's training, whether it's getting people to success. Like, I'm not like some people are really academic, like reader types. Like, that's really not my thing. I do audiobooks, but I went out and read books, right? Like, audiobooks are great.
But you get the content in.
Yeah. So I'd go talk to our guy group, Seth. He's a doctor. He's a human performance coordinator. He's a mental guy, right? He's got a doctorate in that stuff. And said, "Hey, man, what book should I read to get better?" So he handed me a book. I read it. Cool. How can I apply? I wouldn't normally read this shit, but how can I apply this to getting better? My mission. Great. Another book. Read this. Who can I look for up to that is doing this well that I normally wouldn't, right? Step outside the tactical industry, sports, performance, or whatever, or teachers. Great. Learn from them. All that matters is the mission. Mission drives task org. Mission drives training. And I've always kind of remembered that. And I think that's a good quote. And when people talk about, so take it just simple, right? People in classes, I send out a questionnaire because I want people to know. I want to know what they've been working on, what their goals are, how the problems they're having. And then I kind of group them on the line not necessarily their ability level per se. It's a little bit of that, but mostly like if you're having this issue and this is what you're working on, this is your mission. Then when I tell you something, I can save time and go, hey, you to the left, you to the right, y'all right here, listen up. And I can put information out to like 3 people versus just one and have to run down the line to talk to somebody else. So I know who's who. And I see people do these questionnaires and they're like, well, I want to do this, this, and that. I'm like, okay, what is your mission? What are you training for? Because that question was before.
Yeah.
So you said this, but then you say, I want to be able to reload faster.
Why?
Well, that's not a real, if you're training for this, then you should want, you're training for home defense, right? Like you're a concerned citizen. Great. Absolutely. You should. How about processing information? How about target identification? How about some of these other things? Like where are your weaknesses at? How to better protect my family? And you're worried about a 1R1 reload. I get it. That's a skill. That's
right.
That can, translate into an ability later. But I think there's more important things to be worried about. And part of it is people just don't know what they should be training on. That's part of coming to a class, right? To open their eyes and tell them.
Yeah.
And some people that have some more experience or have a little bit more base knowledge or have opened that scope up to see what it is, I think they're still focusing on the wrong things. They're not focusing on what's going to make them successful. You can have goals, whether it's personal, professional, save lives, protect your family, but then you're like, hey man, I really want to shoot a build drill in 2 seconds. Great, man. That's a goal. You should definitely have it. But focus on the right things to get you there versus some of this other stuff that may not be. Does that make sense? Kind of what I'm saying?
Heck yeah, totally. It's really like, what's the mission? Mission drives everything else you're doing in preparation for it and all the components and tools you take with you.
That's it.
And that's good to go. So yeah, you're going to a shooting course. Why are you going to that shooting course? Are you going there because you want to become a better gunfighter, or you really just want, Mark, do you really just, well, if you want accuracy, what do you want that for? Why are you doing that training? And it's kind of like being able to have that bird's eye view and understanding all the skills that you want to acquire on the road to accomplishing whatever mission it is. I want to be more dangerous. I want to be harder to kill. Okay, cool. So let's get some mindset courses and some firearms courses in and some ground fight in and some other stuff, let's build you some skills on the spectrum of being that more dangerous human being, That's because a lot of people are like, I want to be harder to kill. I want to be able to defend my family. So I'm going to go buy a gun. Well, homie, you're like at bat right now. You didn't even make it to first base. You know what I'm saying?
What I need, like I had a question today. A guy was like, hey man, so I was looking at buying a gun, right? For this. He's like, I don't know how to rifle, this and that, that rifle for your course. I'm like, it's a rifle course. Yes, you need a rifle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Course. Okay, well, what? It's a pistol too. A rifle course. I'm like, hey man, you're going to shoot some pistol too. So bring your pistol. He's like, well, I got this, but I was looking at buying this other gun. Which one would be better for your course?
Yeah.
Like, dude, I don't care if you shoot a 40 cal, a 45 or a 9mm. Bring the gun.
Your weapons.
Like, well, I was thinking about buying this FN, 45, whatever. Cool, man. Great gun, whatever, dude. But that's your focus, is which gun you should buy because you think that's going to make you successful in the course. How about instead, like, what do I need to, and I love when people ask me this. Like, when people ask me questions, like, I love when they ask really good questions. Leading up to the course, what should I be working on? What should I be focused on to prepare myself to make the most of your course? Like, I get that question a lot, and I absolutely love it because I'm like, great. Hey, let's talk about where you're at. And I'll go down the rabbit hole, like sitting there. We're supposed to be watching a movie, like a TV show with my wife before we go to bed. I'm just like texting away, or emailing. Someone's asking me because I'm excited for this person.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. Hey, man, try fire this. Make sure this is down right. I'll work on the rest there, but make sure that muzzle is right where you want it to be. You have that awareness, right? And when you put that gun on target, the sights go where your eyes are at. So just nice, smooth draws, nice and crisp. And I've even taken a video and sent it to guys and they're like, hey, man, here, do this, this, and that. Here's this target. Just follow this and make sure when you pull that trigger, the bullet will go where your sights are at. So even through dry fire, just one-handed putting that up, pull that trigger, click, it's coming straight back every time. You got your different reference point, whatever it may be, and you're good to go. If you do that, man, I'll handle the rest. But if you can do that before you show up to a course, dude, we're not going to have to worry about that, which is half of the problems that we see at the course.
Yeah.
Now we can really get rock and rolling. Yeah. When guys like, what gun should I have? Should I buy a new gun? Would it be better? I'm like, if you don't have a high point, you're fine.
Right.
I don't care if you show up a World War II, 1911.
Yeah.
let's do this, you know?
Yeah, no, I dig it, man. You can tell a lot about where someone's at by the questions they ask.
Yeah.
That really tells you where the person's mind's at. And there's really no shame in your questions. Never be ashamed to ask the question because you are where you are.
Yeah. They don't know that they're like, oh, it's okay. You know, I'm polite about it. Like someone asked me, I'm like, hey, maybe this should be the focus, not that. Like, I understand.
Yeah. Like we all, because we know once we didn't know too.
Yeah.
You know? Like
I
had to go find
that Magwell.
Right? No, yeah. And I got a buddy who I ask all my dumb questions to, who's like my gun guys. Like I got my guys in my crew that like read the Soldier of Fortune magazines and they're going through all the articles. And like I ask these dudes a question and I know I'm getting the answer back and it's like been researched. They've been in the chat rooms. They're like my gun tech guys, you know? Yeah. But nah, man, you can tell a lot about where someone's at in their development. But a good trainer like you and like someone who's, you know, I think well adjusted just knows, hey, at one point I didn't know.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Like we get it, you know, it's frustrating, but you can't get mad at somebody because you did the same shit. You couldn't shoot for crap. Like you could shoot just barely a little bit and you felt good about yourself. Yeah. So you're like, oh, all right, I have $300 this month. I'm going to buy, okay. You go on the Zev website and you're like, ooh,
this
that titanium firing, that striker, that firing pin, that's going to be the difference in me shooting better, you know, or that titanium guide rod. Yeah. You're like, oh God, like there's a place for that stuff, but I wish I would have just spent on more ammo, you know?
Yeah. Better training. Yeah. I'm saying smarter training, man. So then straight up the question, tactical background, A to Z. What is your background?
So I was in Fifth Special Forces Group from 2008 until 2018, right out like 10 years, give or take. I have to add up the months or whatever. But so did that. I was on a Halo team for 7.5 of those years. I went to the SIF CRIF that we talked about for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years, something like that, where I did the deployment with them, trained up, and I was on Bravo cell over in Troop 1. After that, I went to take over. It was kind of writing on the wall. It was like, hey, man, you're broke. Like, we need to get you the TBI clinic, all that kind of stuff. I need to work some stuff out personally. Had to raise my hand and say, hey, I'm sorry, guys, but I need to do this. Like, something's not right. Take a knee for a minute. So did that, and they pushed me over to the Armed Sentry program, which was a good learning experience, especially being able to see that training where, like, we went down to the alert program at Texas State University, an entire class of just SF guys, which was a huge surprise to the instructors. They were like, wait a second, how many of y'all are in the military to SF? And like everybody but like one guy raised their hand. They were like, what the fuck? Like, we've never had this. No one told us. We're like, yeah, I'm the one that put it together. So surprise.
Peekaboo.
Yeah, like it was cool, man. I was an active shooter, trained the trainer. So we all got certified in that little stuff. And it was a good experience. So did that and helped manage the program. I wasn't the lead instructor because that fell to our instructor cadre, the CFAO committee, but I helped instruct when they ran the course, but they were overall in charge of that. And we made up some good recommendations. My buddy Steve was the head instructor over there for Fifth Group at the time. And he's a phenomenal instructor, and I worked hand in hand with him and helped him do the courses. So through that, I did 7 deployments, 3 to Iraq, 2 to Afghanistan. One that was like, not a combat deployment. It was a JSET deployment kind of thing to Jordan, where we basically did a training event with Jordanian Special Forces at Kasada, the special operations, big training complex they have. Yeah. So it was really cool. We got to work with the Prince Amir Hashim, or Amir means Prince. So Amir Hashim. It's like saying chai tea, right? It's the same damn word. Sorry.
No worries.
Prince Hashim, Amir Hashim, whatever. We worked with his company. He's the king's youngest brother, special operations guy. And then my other deployment was to Turkey, where I basically wore a suit every day. I worked out of the embassy annex in one of the agency overflow little offices, and everything. It was all greenside stuff, so we can talk about it. But what you guys see going on in Syria for the past few years, I was the first guy to go over there and handle the Turkey aspect of it. So we had Turkey and another country, but I was over there kind of like setting that up and working towards the Syria mission before it kicked off. So that was my job, was to set that up. which is funny because I wore a suit every day, and I was an E7, starting first class. And I remember my group commander saying, "Hey, doing a good job, this and that." I was like, "Sir, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing." And I'm
You're like, "Good job."
With, the ambassador and the deputy, chief of whatever the shit, and all these people.
Yeah.
I had to talk to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Minister of Defense for Turkey, and they're like asking me questions. I'm like, yes, sir. Yep. Yep. Here's the answer. Like, I'll get back to you on that. I'm walking out, like calling people frantically on the phone. Like, what am I doing? I should not be talking to these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he told me, whatever you do,
act like.
He said, not whatever you do. He's just like, it's probably best that you just don't bring up your rank. Right. Like, because everybody thought I was
over there. It's huge.
Yeah. Oh yeah. With the Department of State people, and 95%
too.
Department of State.
Yeah.
95%, 90%. There's some really good people over there. But the rest of those 95 or 90-ish%, whatever, are complete pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
I say that wholeheartedly from the bottom of my heart. I worked with some phenomenal people there who I could not have done what I did without them. They were a blessing to, right? They're amazing. But most of them were just worthless.
Worthless. Roger.
They hated us, but they all thought I was a colonel. They're like, "Man, you're a really young looking colonel. You're major."
Like, yeah.
I was like, "Thank you very much."
Just thank you.
Right around it, right? And then change the subject. But
I like dolphins.
Yeah, pretty much. And I was like, I'm about 190, 195 pounds right now. I was about 210 then. I had no neck, and I'm wearing like a custom. Like the guy he's like, "You have an 18.5-inch neck, and your weight." I had custom shirts. I was just jacked.
Yeah.
So it was really funny, but it was an interesting deployment.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I briefed, I think, like 6 or 7 congressmen, a couple senators, multiple generals on what's going on. And it was just, hey, man, fake it till you make it. You have everything to talk to these people, the background and the education. I don't give a shit if you went to Harvard or Yale.
Yeah.
Most of them, especially the congressmen and women,
they're
clueless. They have no clue what's going on. Like, what if it was like, "Oh, do you vote? Are you from California?" I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm actually, it's like, okay, never mind. Do you vote? Like, they didn't know what fucking Predators and ISR was. They had no clue. And they're on the committee to fund that stuff. And we're sitting there listening to it. We're like, well, I don't know what an ISR is, but I got one of them drone suckers with a missile. You want that?
Yeah. Does that work for you?
Yes, sir. We'll take it. Fucking kidding me? Like, anyway, it was eye-opening to say the least, but it was a really good experience.
Yeah.
Like so much in my life, but it was good. It was very different. So I racked up a lot of Marriott points. I lived in a JW 5-star Marriott hotel for like 3 or 4 months, which was awesome. So it saved me some money. So I got a bunch of Marriott. I'm like platinum status forever now.
You're a celebrity at the Marriott. I dig it, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, it was good. So that's kind of my background. Most of my deployments to Iraq were with my original team. My Halo team was a mix. We did some DA stuff. We did some, FID. We trained guys and we took them out on missions, accompanied them and assisted them. We did, ran the gamut. It was kind of like when SF, it's your area. Like, especially in Afghanistan, they say, "Hey, make chicken salad out of chicken shit. This is yours and you own it. You tell us, So that was a really cool responsibility. My other Afghan deployment, I did the one that's your VSO, like you would think like SF living out there on their own kind of deal. Mm-hmm. And then the other one I did was I was at a base where I was an LNO for a general, like going back and forth to report for him. But my other gig for that was we did low-vis operations around Kabul. So we drove around and down the Banjans and everything. And we did, how do I put this? Surveillance type stuff, I guess would be the best way for the listeners to understand that. So we would scope places out and kind of be undercover as we went out the gate, which we got really good at for a while. They didn't we would drive right through checkpoints. The Afghanis they just look at the truck and us and be like, "Go, go, go." We drive by and they kind of like, "What?" They kind of give us that second look, like, "What?" And they just go past.
And then they just be lazy and be like, "Yeah."
I learned a lot about low vis stuff just doing that. Then of course another, the Toyota, Land Cruiser comes up all up armored. They're like, stop, right behind us. They're like trying to open the doors and get everybody there hassling them. Like, nope, these are Afghanis, and push us right through.
Heck yeah.
Thought I was like a Chechen. I'm like, oh, those are Chechen. Afghanis, fuck, get him out of here.
Yeah, get him out of here.
It worked pretty well.
That was, okay, heck yeah. So that's the background, huh?
Yeah, I'd say so, man.
Sweet.
I think that's it, dude. So kind of my whole experience in a nutshell. There's my DD 214 or my ERB, I guess.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. No, I dig it. I love it. And I love what you've created out of it. That's like what I really like to see, man. See that trash, all of it translate, Getting out of the military is like, it's like driving a Lamborghini and being forced to drive in a school zone forever afterwards. If you don't freaking figure out being a dang carnivore and then being forced to be a vegetarian forever. If you don't figure out like how to keep those gears rolling, what your new mission is, what you find your new fight and all that. So that's what's up. What types of things would you say you learned about yourself during your time in the military?
I'm not as cool or as good as I think I am.
That's a really valuable stinking lesson.
Yeah, it is. I had to eat some humble pie a few times, I showed up to the team. I was young. I was very young. Showed up to my team. I was 23. I turned 24, and I showed up to my team. I turned 24 shortly after. Most of the guys on my team were early 30s, right? Our team sergeant was like 40-something years old. He went to Halo school like 93 or 92. Like he was old, right? But he was good. He was really good. That was the kind of team I showed up to. There's one other younger guy when I got to the team. Both of us about the same age. But my experience had been, I'm a, college football player. I'm a tough guy, all this stuff. And, I went through the Q course. Like, I'm good, right? Like, I passed, like, even if you finish last, you're still a doctor, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm a made man.
Whatever, right? We got our tabs, got our barrettes. And, I showed up to the team and it was, oh, shit, there's a lot more to learn.
We just started.
Yeah, we did. And, there's all this stuff on the team. You got to learn your job. And these guys have different jobs. And we're all shooters first, all Green Berets and special operations, special forces guys first. But you all have stuff that you have to be able to contribute. And, realizing that, it was like, oh, how about I just shut my mouth for a bit, and realize I don't know everything. That was a hard pill to swallow. Luckily, some of my teammates brought that to my attention real quick, and I appreciate them for that. They force-fed that humble pie, I will say.
Heck yeah.
But I was way better for it. And, I would say that's probably the one thing I learned really quickly. And then even going on in my career, being a E7, then being a senior E7, potentially looking at, team sergeant at E8 right before I got out, I still realized there's a lot to learn. Like, I'm learning stuff from every guy around me. And you never know it all, and you're never good enough. You never know it all. It's like jujitsu or shooting or anything. Like, you can always be better. That's it. So that was probably the important lesson I learned from my time there was no matter who you are, you can get better. And there's always something to learn. And you'll learn something from bad people or people that aren't good, or say leaders, bad leaders, as much as you will good leaders. That's what you do with that. Because I had a couple phenomenal captains, team leaders, and I had one that let's just say he was so bad there was a point where, like, you're in a firefight and you're like, man, what if a round just
what if you just walked in
he just walked in front of my line of fire? Would people be pissed?
Or would everybody just be okay with that?
Yeah. And I say that jokingly, but I'm not joking. Like, the thought, really did. Like we all kind of were like, this guy's bad, but what are we going to do with it? Like, what are you going to make of it? Like, take lemons and turn it into beef stew, right? Like, whatever, man.
Turn it into beef stew. That's what's up. Because it sounds bad, but like when you're in the military, just for the listeners, and you're in life and death situations and you have bad leadership, it can cost you and your brothers their lives. It's like so like this thought he's talking about. I completely agree with you. For sure, I remember having the same thought. And actually, because we had a guy who was the scourge of our existence the first time I went to combat. And that
TV show Generation Kill, kind of like that one.
Bro, I got back from Iraq. The homies were watching that. I walked into the room. I watched like 5 minutes, 10 minutes of it, turned around, walked out, never watched it since. I was like, this is too realistic. I'm not ready for this. Like, we had just got back. Like, I actually need to go back and watch that series. I'm sure now I'd love it. Force my wife to listen to me narrate the entire thing. And this was like when the thing happened.
You know that one time I called you? And she's like, oh God, shut up.
This is It's got to happen. I'll make my kids watch it too, probably. But
Yes.
yeah, dude. No, and I remember standing on top of the Haditha Dam, watching these dudes lob mortars at us, and we had a platoon sergeant from the drill, not the drill field, but from MCT. So he was like teaching pogues how to like fight, and so he just thought he knew everything. Like he thought he knew everything ever that was ever to know, and he made us stand in formation while we were taking incoming. And just made us do a bunch of garrison trash. And I remember everyone in the platoon was like, this stinking guy, bro. And I don't know what you want to call it, but it was like our first mission. And this dude ended up, put it this way, like I'm sitting here, we had a guy, quick story time. We had a guy who was, he'd already been to Iraq, I think once or twice. And he was one of our corporals at the time. And he was following that Gunny's orders, and Gunny was kind of like, yeah, go down here. And Corporal Armstrong stopped the vehicle and came back to Gunny, was like, hey, and I'm sitting security listening to this conversation. And he's like, hey, we gotta switch our route up. So we go down here, we're gonna get hit at the bottom of this choke point. They're setting us up for an IED. You know, Gunny such and such was like, I am a gunnery sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. I know what I'm doing, Corporal. He's like, go back to your vehicle and do it, and go down to the da-da-da and do what I'm telling you. And Corporal just went back to his vehicle and just sat there. He's like, I can't do it, man. I just can't do it. I know what's gonna happen. Gunny goes flying past him. Actually, like, flips him off and cusses at him. Now, this type of stuff never happens in Marine Corps. Like, we're all like, geez, Gunny, like, I ain't never seen that. Well, they're going to fight when we get back, whatever. And like, next thing you know, man, I'm staring at the driver's side Humvee tire, like 250 feet up in the air. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah. You know, long story short, who pulls him out of the burning vehicle, calls in the medevac, hits him with the morphine, saves him. Who does it? Corporal Armstrong. It was none other. You know what I'm saying?
Karma's a beautiful motherfucker. Isn't it?
Oh, man. And so we're, fast forward a week or so, we're all back, and morale in the platoon went skyrocketed. Right? We're like, you know what I mean? Like, we can just be in combat without all the other crap. And I just remember, and this was a lesson in leadership, because I remember watching the guys come back and, hey, this is what's going on with Gunny such and such. And our platoon sergeant stops him and is like, is he dead? And they're like, no. And they're like, is he coming back? And they're like, no. He's like, good to go. Thank you. He's like, that's all we wanted to know. You know what I'm saying? And we went on with the mission, and, it was a good deployment. Anyways, I say all that to say, I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And not that it just caveat, because I know someone out there is probably, my God, he was going to shoot his captain. No, I wouldn't shot the guy. I'm just saying, like, at one point it was so bad that people literally were like, man, would it be better if this did happen? So
like,
if all the people out there that are literally like typing a congressman or some shit right now, or the fucking Department of Defense. That would not have happened. I just, I will say that the thought, would it be better if this guy wasn't here? Yes, it would,
Right. Well, it can cost people lives. Fortunately, in our case, it didn't cost Corporal Armstrong his life or any of us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and not even him. God bless him. Yeah, dude. So what would you say you learned about team dynamics from your time with those boys, man?
So with team dynamics, and again, this was a big learning point, obviously through your career, because you asked where did I learn about it, but everyone's different, and it takes all kinds to make up a team, right? Everybody's got their strengths, everybody's got their weaknesses. So you don't want one type of person all on a team, right? Like, there's different personalities, and you want everybody to be able to do the job to a standard, in the task, the critical tasks of the metal, mission essential tasks, or whatever you would call it, that you got to do. But outside of that, like, different personalities are good, because you have different strengths and weaknesses. Before I wasn't the most open to that. I'm like, why are we not all meatheads just jacking steel and, doing stuff and, whatever. Yeah. Some guys, it's not their thing as much. They're more cardio guys, or they do this, or they're more into something else, or they have different skill sets. And the fact is, on especially my first team, which is I've only been on 2 teams, but that ODA I was on for 7.5 years, the Halo team, I realized that pretty fast on the first deployment, that other guys were going to be able to do things way better than I was, because they had a different personality type. Yeah. And that's good. They have different interests. They can sit down and talk to some guy. Like, we had a guy on the team, and at first, like, I did not like this guy.
Yeah.
I didn't even call him by his name. I gave him a different name. Didn't call him by his name. I was like, I'm not calling you your name.
Different name, Cocker Spaniel.
Yeah.
I'm calling you Cocker Spaniel.
Yeah, it's Fred, right? Yeah, I call him Fred. His name's not Fred. But I learned, I ended up really liking the guy a lot.
Yeah.
Like, he brought so much to the table that was just outside of my scope of what I thought
you're trash. Yeah.
was good or what's right, or how you should be. I think that's the key, how you should be. Like, if you have this is the job, you have to be like this. All right, man, well, you're already behind the power curve. Right? This guy could walk into a room, anyone. It doesn't matter if you're foreign, if you speak English, you're a man, woman, no matter what. This guy could go to downtown, and he's a kind of a nerdy looking dude, but he's, he carries his weight. He's in shape guy. He can do everything in that stuff guy shit. He just didn't look the part on the outside per se. Yeah. Kind of reddish curly hair, like brownish red hair, kind of pale, smaller guy. He could go to I'm convinced this guy could go to downtown Compton, or Detroit or New York, or the worst
where he should
gang infested area. Yeah. And 20 minutes or maybe a half an hour to an hour later, this guy would be at family barbecues. They'd be like, come here and meet Fred, right? Like, I'm fucking this motherfucker.
Yo, check out his red hair. This guy.
Yeah, I fucking love this guy.
Yeah.
And he's just got them saying whatever. He could convince them. He could take the most liberal person is a Democrat, just whatever. And they could be like, you know what? I mean, yeah, I thought this, but I met this Fred guy, and guns aren't that bad.
And now I'm getting a gun tomorrow.
He's that guy. There's something about him, man. And that is a skill set on a team. You better bet your sweet titties you have, because the guys, everybody loves each other, right? We're all brothers.
Yeah.
But we fight like brothers too. You know what I mean? It's a fact.
We eat our own.
We will, man. And we're hypercritical. This guy could be the dude that's just he can take any situation. Guys are getting worked up. Well, no, it's got to be like this. Hey, I can't believe they said this. And he just really, if you think about it, is it that bad? Because now we can do this. And he always find that kind of positive lining and kind of make humor out of it. And everybody would be up here just, ready to just boiling over. And by the time, within 10 minutes, everybody's like, yeah, you're right. Not so bad, right? So
Pass the barbecue.
He didn't fit my mold, what I thought. And then after a while, I was like, oh shit, this guy's dangerous. Because I remember I'd be talking to him.
Because he had that voodoo and trash, man.
And I'm like, I decided I don't like you. Yeah. We'd be talking for a few minutes. I'd be like, yeah, anyway, I'd go, whoa, hold on. No. Hey. You're doing it to me, but hey, man, he's a great dude. He's a great Green Beret. He's good at his job. He does all this stuff. He just don't have a mold, man. I had to learn that. It takes all kinds of personalities in a team. You need that to make a team work. So when if you're only surrounding yourself with the same type of people, if all your people are the same type of guys off of, what you're envisioning, SEAL team on CBS, right? Well, here's a fact, man. You need a little Big Bang Theory in there too, because those guys got straight too. Surround yourself with different people. It's good. Teams need that. And you still have to meet those requirements and be able to do the job, to a standard of that really high level and continue to push each other to get better. As long as it's all about the team and people are investing, what did I do for my team today? Then that's a good thing. Keep that going. You got to have that stuff.
Heck yeah. What would you say you learned about the enemy?
Ooh. They can do less with more, and they don't fucking complain about everything like we do. Guys continually, and this is everywhere, it's just our culture, right? Well, I don't have this, so I can't do that, or I need this to do that, or I need blah, 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 or whatever. This dude is in there with a AK from, the Cold War, when the Russians invaded in flip-flops in the middle of winter, climbing through the snow to shoot you in the face. Because he doesn't care. And
he probably has religious conviction. He probably has belief and conviction.
Yeah, he does. It's just pure hate and anger, right? Or some of them, it's just because they don't have anything better to do. So they're here to try to kill you. Yeah, they're like, what do I do? They're like, I don't know. There's some terrorist dudes over there. It says, shoot some Americans. They'll pay me for it. Sure, right? They'll show up.
I'm going to wherever we go after this. Give me some virgins.
They don't need, the newest gun to shoot better. They don't need this. They don't need that. They're just like, I'm going to do this. I don't need all that. I don't have excuses to not pull it off. And that's one thing I learned about, not all of them, but those good fighters you see, they didn't. It takes a lot. Man. Yeah. It takes a lot for a dude in flip-flops and an AK to go, hey, man, let's go kill some Americans. And I say this from a point of it's kind of hard to say, right? Because we've got a lot of Americans die. That's kind of a morbid thing. But for that guy to say they have air support, they have lasers, they have $1 million equipment, they have more firepower than anybody else, they're the best trained guys in the world. And they say, I don't give a fuck. You know, and
I got flip-flops and AK.
And I am me. I'm going to go out there and take it to them. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to have excuses. And a lot of those dudes, like, they're continuing to fight because they just don't have excuses. And I see it constantly, man. And you do too, whether it's students or whoever. And I will say the majority of the people I get as a student, they're showing up because they want to be there. So I think we're really lucky with students and people are showing up to training. They're there because they want to be there. That is way different than the military, right? Like, it is mandatory fun in the military. Here they're investing their time, money, effort, and focus into going to this class. So we know they want to be there.
Heck yeah.
But seeing a guy that doesn't have any excuses and will get it accomplished, that was a big deal. And so Steve, I talk about Steve a lot. So Steve I have two Steves. One Steve is a guy that helps me AI my courses. Steve Winiger is a former SWAT cop. Great dude. But I mentioned Steve, the other Steve already. He's from 5th Group guy. He's the head instructor at Cephalic for a long time, Special Forces, Advanced Urban Combat. They teach multiple courses. So Steve would tell a story. He would say, who's the baddest dude you know? So Byron, who's the baddest guy you know? Baddest isn't like, dude, that guy makes me think for a second, like, I ain't going to mess with that dude. Like, I got to bring my A game.
Like I'm shooting this guy. like I'm going to try to shoot this guy.
So Steve would say, he would ask him, who's the baddest guy you know?
Yeah.
We all kind of think about it. And Steve would say, that for me, that's my dad. And Steve is like a redneck from Arkansas, but he's like half Asian. So it's kind of funny. You see him and then he's like, hey man, talks like this. Always got to dip it. And you're like, but you don't look like
you don't fit my thing.
He's like a half Asian, a little bit. He has a darker skin guy, like Asian, Hispanic or something. It's weird.
He's a race shifter. One of my best friends is a half Asian, half white guy. Yeah. And the white guys think he's a white guy. The Mexican guys think he's Mexican.
Exactly. So
Filipinos like him.
He's got Asian last name and everything. So
okay.
He said, for me, that's my dad. We're like, okay. He goes, man, my dad's the baddest dude I ever met. He's like 5'2", Asian guy. He goes, I would not fight my dad to this day. He will tear me up. And he said, why? Whatever. He goes, well, why? He goes, he doesn't have any excuses. He doesn't hold back. He's not going to say, well, this, or I need this, or whatever. It's just, if it's on, my dad's going to take it to me. He goes, so I listen to my damn dad. He goes, that guy's like 50-something, 60 years old, and I'm still terrified of my dad. That's the enemy, right?
Yeah.
So you say, what do you learn from the enemy? Like, there's always that guy out there. Like, and when you take that to training or that motivation for what we should be doing, ask yourself, who's the baddest guy you know? Or the evil twin analogy, right? Like, that was a pretty popular one. So the evil twin, like, what would your evil twin be doing right now? He would be making excuses. He'd be working out. He'd be shooting. He'd be focused, doing this drill. He'd be doing everything he could to kill you. And that baddest guy you know, like, are you training in your moment and everything to make sure that what you're doing is to beat the baddest guy you know? Because chances are he's doing more work than you. And that's why he's a bigger badass than you are. And like, I think that kind of ties, like, what did you learn about the enemy? It's kind of a tangent there, but what did you learn about the enemy? They don't have excuses. They'll do more with less, right? So when we take that and we understand that, now how do we apply that to our training? Think of that baddest guy you know. When you're out training, maybe you only have an hour on the range. Maybe you got 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. Maybe you only get to the range once a month or once a week or a couple times a year. Make the most of it because every little bit counts and you are where your feet are. So be there, focus, and get the work done. If it's time to work, it's time to work, man. So.
Man, you're inspirational, bro. I'm loving this trash, baby.
Yeah.
We gotta be careful. We'll be here forever.
I'm on the zone.
Yeah, I know. I'm on that zone, son. Nah, man. I love that team dynamics. There's strength in diversity. I love that, man. And it's dang stinking true. And then also, bro, with this enemy thing, the power of one man who's determined, it supersedes a lot of the tutelage and a lot of the trash. Because like Americans are straight up like astronauts compared to some of these folks we've been fighting for years for some reason, right? So like the power of a man who's determined, it's a force to be reckoned with. And this whole like with regards to the enemy, man, I love that. The evil twin analogy, beat the baddest dude, what drove me in the Marine Corps was just like, I would do our whole work day, whatever. Then I'd go to the gym for 3 hours and I'd do all these different things because I'm like, there's some dude out there right now that might kill me. And if I get in a fair fight, I'll be danged. I'd be danged if I end up losing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't go to Valhalla or wherever if you lose a fair fight. You know what I mean? Like, granted, you get blown up. That's another thing. I get blown up. It happened a bunch of times, whatever. But like, if it ends up being square and I lose. Nah, man.
Yep. So it kind of reminded me too. I'm going to jump on this a little bit more if you don't mind.
Yeah, no,
have you ever read, there's like a short, like, it's not a novel. It's like a little essay, I guess you'd call it, by Stephen Pressfield. You know that Gates of Fire, the 300 book?
Yeah.
So Stephen Pressfield wrote that. He wrote another thing called The Warrior Ethos.
Okay.
You ever heard of it? It's like 80 pages.
I probably have, but it's not coming to me right now.
So he wrote this like 80-page little essay, right? And he basically talks about the warrior ethos and what that means across different cultures and for us and everything else. What the big thing that stuck out to me and kind of the overlying, I guess, theme of it was shame-based versus guilt-based cultures. Okay. And he talks about one thing that makes the Marines or special forces or even like Taliban, Pashtuns, right?
Yeah.
Good at what they do and motivates them is the fact that they're shame-based versus guilt-based. So both are good. So both have positives and negatives.
Yeah.
You get in team environments, especially really good team environments. This is one reason I love the Marines. They do this like to a T incredibly, right? So the actions of when one guy is there, he doesn't think, all right, well, I'm going to make decisions or perform based on my own internal guilt. I'm going to make decisions to perform based on the shame I could bring to my team, right?
It's samurai.
So it's all about what have you done for your team?
Yeah.
Every action is going to reflect on them. So you are doing your job or doing everything you do in order to impress those around you and not bring shame to that group. So that's the motivator, right?
Right.
So the same thing with, Pashtun culture, Arab culture. So it's very shame-based. The negative sides of that obviously is like you go into a meeting and like it's shame-based. So you say, oh, how many men do you have? And they're like, I have 100 men.
I have 100,000. Okay.
That motherfucker's got 12 cousins and 3 AKs.
Yeah, I have 100,000 of the baddest.
Yeah, and he's looking around and he's like, yes, and I'm like, oh, I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh yeah, they're very strong, right? Lots of babies. You're making like, oh yes, I have multiple
boys.
They're like so strong, and all the other dudes that are sitting around him are like, in their heads, they're like, bullshit. What do they say? Yes, he has the strongest. He is the biggest, whatever. And that gets all the hype. Well, that's the downside to that shame-based culture, right? Is that ego kind of can take over. Well, the guilt-based culture.
Yeah, this is good.
America, in like, I don't want to say on the civilian side, but in general, America is a guilt-based culture, which is also a good thing because even if things are the status quo, like whatever, and someone thinks that's wrong, that their guilt affects that. They don't look outside to say what's right or wrong. They go with what they personally believe, their belief system, guilt. And they'll say, hey, I'll stand up for what's right and say, that's wrong. We shouldn't be doing this, right? So if America wasn't a guilt-based culture, we wouldn't have had so many good things that brought us to this point. So say the civil rights movement, right? Not completely, but a lot of it was because we are a culture that is guilt-based. Otherwise, people wouldn't have stood up and said, fuck you, we're not doing this. This isn't right. Or, medical companies, right? Like overprescribe, whatever, right? Take anything at all. Or somebody seeing somebody down the street going, hey, you don't treat a woman like that. You don't do this, right? Yeah. Whereas in Afghanistan, we're watching a video on YouTube. Like, when was that posted? Oh, a month ago. They're like stoning a chick, with her head buried up to her head.
Pouring sand in her mouth and crushing her with nuts.
Like, we're watching it on YouTube. We're like, what the fuck? It's like, well, she was supposed to be married to this guy here. But see that guy standing next to him? Well, that's who she wanted to marry. So she started seeing him. And then the father and all three of them were stoning this chick to death.
Because she was holding hands.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah. So the guy that she was like in love with actually and wanted to marry, he's like, oh, yep, what a whore, right? Fuck her. Let's stone her to death. Because shame-based culture. I don't want to look bad in front of people. Yeah. Right. So a guilt-based culture would be like, what the fuck are you doing? No, that is not right. We do not do things. So there's positives to both, right? Yeah. Also look at shame-based culture. Just look at Berkeley, right? So, guilt-based culture. Just look at Berkeley. There's the negative side of it right there. People are like, this is wrong and bad. Just shut up, right? So there's two sides to each one. But I think one thing that makes teams really, really good is when they have that kind of shame-based culture around it, where everybody's living to bring honor to the team and do the right thing by them, and they don't want to bring shame. They don't want to be looked upon by their peers as bad. So that's the difference in a team and an individual, if that makes sense. So both are good, but both can be bad too, positive.
Yeah, there's two sides to every sword, and if someone breaks through your spot in the phalanx, kill yourself.
Yes.
Real talk.
Death by seppuku,
no, don't kill yourself. No, kill yourself.
Just got your little mini samurai sword just for cutting your own stomach open.
For you. Exactly. Man. No, I dig it, man. And I love it too. Heck yeah. No.
I might have just said death by Sudoku. It's seppuku.
Sudoku or something like that. Yeah,
I used to get the two mixed up all the time. But like Sudoku and they're like crossword puzzle. No, man. That's wrong. It's seppuku.
Seppuku, man. It's the closest I'm getting to it today. You know, what did you love least about SF stuff or your time in the field?
Man, that's a hard question, dude. That's a really hard one. Mm-hmm. Not being able to do everything we were capable of.
Ooh.
So we go on a deployment, we see something going on. We're like, hey, we're the guys on the ground. We're this, we're that. And sometimes you had commanders that were like, hey, you're the guys on the ground. You think this needs to be done? Go do it, but don't mess it up, right? Do it the right way and prove that you can do it. And we'll let you're off for the running, off to the races.
Yeah.
Other times, we see something going on. Like, hey, we need to get out more. We're losing this, we're losing that. And there was that. And SF is very different than, they put the chain back on it.
Yeah. You're like
a pit bull that's taken off and they can just hook you up to the leash. They're like, nope, you can only go so far. Mm-hmm. It's like, let us run, man. Like you trained us, you hired us, you did all this for a reason. Like we've got to go do our jobs. And it's not always the fault of our commanders above us or even within our unit. Yeah. There's certain political implications where they've said, I don't want to lose one guy. We can't have it. Or I don't want anything going off. It's not worth going out. Just ride your time. Just sit there on the base. And you're like,
behave.
What? Right? Like we're just holding a spot. And those times were common, but looking back at it, wasn't as common as you thought at the time. Yeah. But it did happen sometimes, where you're like, why can't we do anything? It's lions led by lambs. That old saying. It's you've got all this stuff, you can do the job. That everything matters all the time. Like you always want to go out. Like if you're not there, you're not going to be able to save the world that day.
Right.
And it's not necessarily fifth group's fault. The commander's there. A lot of times it comes from way, way, way higher up and it filters down. They're giving guidance. Whatever you do, this will not happen. He goes, shit. Then it filters down, and it filters down, it filters down, and you get that effect. Yeah. And I would say that's the one thing I did not like.
Yeah.
But that's everywhere. That's everywhere in the military, no matter what unit you're in. That's every job you're in.
Yeah.
And we had it way less, looking back at it, like we didn't have it that bad, but at the same time, when those times did present themselves, it was very frustrating because, hey man, we all want to save the world. Like we want to do everything, just like we saw in the videos and all we trained to do. We want to go out. We don't want to be told, no, we can't do something right now.
Heck yeah. No, I completely understand that. What would you say hardest lessons learned?
Hardest lessons learned?
Yeah.
Americans are different. We're different. We care about things. And so a long time ago, I saw some show documentary about people becoming U.S. citizens, right?
Yeah.
And there was this Middle Eastern guy, I think he was Iraqi, and he just become a U.S. citizen legally, went through the process, everything. And he was the guy's almost in tears, right? He's talking about it. And he said, in Iraq, nobody cares about people, kids, none of it, right? You just don't give a shit about human life. It's not, doesn't matter. And it's not that they're so inundated or, whatever with death that it just has taken a back seat. They don't value it as much. It's a cultural thing, kids are property. The cow is more important than the child. Mm-hmm. And this guy was saying, he's like, when I came to America, he goes, I saw a lady walking her dog and she had little socks or little booties on her dog's feet. So the dog's feet didn't burn on the sidewalk because it was hot in the concrete. And he was like, they care this much about human life in America. He was like, it blew my mind. He's like, I couldn't comprehend it. He goes, I didn't understand. He goes, and that's for the most part how it is here. There's always outliers outside that spectrum. There's bad people out there, but they're the minority. Yeah. And going over there, seeing the hardest thing for me was the kids are innocent, man.
Yeah.
Kids grow up to be fucking terrorists, whatever. I get it, really called the FTA, Future Terrorists of America, is what some people say. But to me, they're just a kid. They don't know better. If I can take that moment just to make that kid's life a little better, show them hey man, we care, whatever, or a good person.
Yeah.
And then you realize they don't give a shit. And at a certain point in their lives, like we did a village clearing operations. I went into a house, cleared a house, and I opened a door, went through a room, and there's a cow in like the best bedroom in the house. A fucking cow with like straw stuff, whatever, right? In the house. And I see kids, like this family has kids. I'm like, where do they sleep? And the guy's just like points that back by like the shit, you know, the turd fucking canal that goes back, like the water, like out in some dirt.
Yeah.
And I got so infuriated, you know, like I get it. This cow is their livelihood that he'd take care of it. But like, there's another way to do this. Like these are your children and they just don't care.
Yeah.
So seeing that and then seeing people, and this is my, you know, moment of vulnerability here, right? But seeing people, you know, a terrorist, you know, they hired in Afghanistan, they just paid some crazy guy, like mentally handicapped guy, to walk around and stab children. And they stabbed these kids, knowing that we would like respond, you know, and people. And then some IEDs went off, you know, and this happened, and you know, they brought these kids to us. And this knife had missed this kid's spine by like, I mean, a millimeter. Like our medic, Scott, who is 18 Deltas, are the best medics in the world. Hands down, no matter who you are, the best fucking medics in the world.
Yeah.
And Scott looked at this and was like, man, if that knife had been any farther over, this kid be paralyzed forever. Like, he goes, I don't know. Like right now, like I can't, you know, I don't speak Afghani. We're trying, and this kid's I don't know what the depth is, but I know for a fact if it would have gone like just any more to the, I think it was to the left, this kid would just never walk again. He goes, I don't know what's going to happen, but seeing that knife wound in a kid and the kid partially blown up, you know, because the instructions specifically were attack children because the Americans care about kids. Like that bothered me. Like that, and seeing kids hurt and everything else. There was some other stuff too that's way more graphic and in detail with, you know, sexual abuse of kids and stuff like that, but I'm not going to get into it. But yeah, that was hard. So that was really disappointing. And you can bet we take that and then we bottle it up, right? And shove it down inside.
Save it
and
for
then
the
the
right
first
time.
shots that go off, you're like, let's open that.
Yeah.
So there you go, right? Oh, I remember. Yeah, here's for that kid, you piece of shit. Anyway, so that's kind of that was probably the hardest thing, or I guess that was the question. Like the hardest thing to understand. We understood it very quickly.
Yeah,
you know, we are very much protectors. You know, just American culture in general, we protect people, even if you're wrong and you're, you know, what people would call snowflake, right, or whatever. When you're attacking people, you know, very liberal type people, they still view it as they're protecting people and they're trying to do the right thing, even though it's against what we want or what we believe. It's not the same there, man, and that's a very hard cultural difference to wrap your head around in the beginning. I mean, it happens quickly. You learn really quick, but it's you know, that I'm not gonna lie, man, that was a hard thing to see and to get over. But you just, you know, you understand it, get past it's different. We're very grateful for the country we live in.
Yeah, I agree 100%, dude. I remember clearing houses and finding kids tied to strings in the backyard, left to starve to death because they were like not quite right at, like, they figured it out after the kid's like 1.5. They're like, yeah, he's like, he's a switch, you know, like, it's okay, Mr. I'm like, so now I've got a kid outside that's like mentally handicapped because he's so malnourished for so long. Literally flies are eating him alive in the backyard, and it's okay. It's okay, mister. It's okay. I don't know about this. It's mushkala, muy mushkala right now. You know what I mean? Like Lazian right now, bro. You know, and you look in these people's eyes and like they genuinely are like, what? What's weird? You want some chai tea? What's up? And you're like, this is interesting. Yeah. And
I'm going to kind of jump on that. So whenever I hear people out there, and you know, everybody's got an opinion. You can believe what you want to believe. When I hear people say things like, you know, the wars are bad and invaded Iraq and, you know, blah, 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 or that bullshit, the Dixie Chicks, you know, amazing music, right? And that chick had to open her mouth and she says, oh yeah, like one of the best female bands of all time, one of the best country acts of all time, just shut down because she goes to London and says, you know, we're ashamed that, you know, we invaded Iraq and that President Bush is even from Texas. All right, first of all, don't go talk shit in another country and come back and think it's going to be okay. Second of all, but when people have that mentality, like the wars are bad, this and that, like I don't care if you agree for the reasons we went over there or what drove us to do this or what that, like that's all debatable, right? In hindsight, you know, we have more information now. At the end of the day, though, when I hear people say there's no reason this and that, you know, no good's come, you're just doing this and that, we got soldiers who are the most, that are potentially soldiers, Marines, airmen, Navy guys, whatever, on the ground over there. And the most humanity some of those people have ever seen a child has ever seen, a person, a man, a woman, any of them have ever seen, the kindest they've ever been treated is when an American soldier got to interact with them. So when that stuff, like you're just talking about, happens, when that stuff just happens, remember that we're the only ones over there, not the only ones, but majority of the time, we could have been the only people that brought any joy for a split second in this person's life and treated them like a real person and showed them they were valuable and whatever. And people, and soldiers and military people, there's bad apples in the bunch that done some fucked up shit, but we're not bad people. We're all human and we care about people. That's why we do what we do.
That's why we do what we do.
When I hear people say that shit, I'm like, all right, man. Hey, do me a favor for a minute. Shut the F up. All right. Now,
don't ever. Yeah.
If
go away.
We hadn't have gone into that house, that kid, maybe he's chained up to this day, but maybe we made that family understand you don't do this to people. We wouldn't have got them the treatment they needed. We wouldn't have done this. Like that person is alive because of us and we treated them better. And anyway, I get a little frustrated when I hear people say,
heck yeah.
Like that. And I used to love the Dixie Chicks. God, their music was so good, and they just had to talk. That
same thing with a few actors, man. I'm like, yo.
Oh, I know.
I loved you, and now, when I hear about actors trying to share their opinions about, I just don't want to know.
This is not your platform. An uneducated person who lives in a bubble shouldn't be telling people how to think.
How to do anything in this stuff.
Most of them haven't thought a day in their life. Unless your name is Clint Eastwood, shut up.
Yeah, right, like this is not what I'm paying you to do right now.
Oh, I know. There's only a handful. It's like Clint Eastwood. I think it's Morgan Freeman says some awesome shit.
Yeah.
Who's that one guy?
Denzel Washington.
Yes, I got James.
Man.
That's some pretty good stuff. Like, I think that's who it is. I see that stuff. I'm like, man, there's hope. Can you guys talk more and let other people, because they have life experience. They get it. They're not just an actor living in Hollywood. They have actual life experience. They've seen things. They've gone around.
They're still connected.
Yeah.
I dig it, man. Okay, so the rest of these questions are kind of off your website here. We're going to get into the tactics stuff now.
Yeah.
Unique experiences that bring different perspectives to training.
Unique experiences that bring. Oh, what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Where is that on the website? What I was talking
about. That is on the home. Is that the homepage or is that your about?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're just basically talking about like how you came about some of the stuff that you train and all that fun jazz. Can you break it down?
Absolutely. So unique experiences bring a different perspective, right? I think everybody's got a perspective when it comes to shooting. Everybody is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
We're trying to go from where we're at to our version of success, right? And be better, whether that's a time standard or whether that's ability standard or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
What we have in mind is what we say this is success and this is where I want to be, expert status. To me, like I've got a lot of different perspectives that I've done. I've done the low vis thing, concealed carry thing. I've worked on a team with, the Halo team, the ODA, doing certain kind of, rural, say Afghanistan, longer engagements, Salter thing and everything else. So for me, I didn't spend one time just focused on one aspect. And then you add in, I like to do competition shooting. Doesn't mean I'm great at it, but hey, I like to get out and do it because it's a good judge. I also competition shooting because I'll go out there and be like, I don't know, man, let's just wing it. I'm just going to try something new this time and see what happens. So I'm willing to throw a stage. Like, I don't care.
I'm with you on that, bro.
Yeah, I'm starting to change that and focus down a little bit.
It's a battle, man, because I'd be like still ducking behind cover and dudes are like, what are you doing? And I'm like, just shut up.
Yeah, like I shoot competition for me. I'll be like, how fast do I think I can run this classifier? Like, I'm going to pull that off. I'm going to go just plow and see what happens, right? And I'm like, oh, I didn't do it. At least I know where I stand, right? And then what do I get? I get like a one hit factor. I'm like, oh, great. So that looks bad on the scoring. But I'm changing that, talking to Scott Jadlinski from Modern Samurai. He was like, bro, you got to. You do good. You need to start actually focusing on doing well at this. I'm like, okay, all right.
I'm with you, dude. Yeah. They're like, you need to compete. Play the game. I'm like,
yeah. It definitely makes you better. And
it does.
So with all that, from competition to this to, what all of that is, I roll all that into one and say, hey, here's where I failed. Here's the problems I have. And here's what I had to do to get better. What it was I saw what somebody else did or what I had to figure out on my own.
Yeah.
And if you come to a class, or people have come to a class, I hear this a lot, is I've never heard it explained that way. And I've never heard somebody go in depth that much on something. I'm like, and like really give me those focus points because it's the what, the how, and then the why. Then we do that methodical demo and talk through it, right? Explain little aspect. Like people are like, nobody's ever broken down gripping a pistol like that. I'm like, yeah, well, it's different, right? They're like, yeah, but it worked and it clicked. I'm like, good. I've never heard anybody explain it that way either. It's just what I realized I was doing because instead of having these problems, so how do I get rid of that and achieve this? Well, if I think about it like this, then I'm going to hook and drive. I'm going to hook with my middle finger, my ring finger here around the grip, and I'm going to drive that thumb up. So now I'm not gripping the pistol. I'm leveraging the pistol, getting at that angle, driving up and getting that up high on that energy-producing axis or bore axis, taking all that slack out of the beaver tail. Now I can pull that trigger, right? Where my hand's relaxed. I'm not going to have that sympathetic response by gripping as I pull the trigger. I can still do it quick and accurately. So stuff like that versus just grip the gun, 70, 30, hold on to it, grip here, bam, bam, bam. Well, guess what? A Glock's different. A Glock is not a 1911 or a Beretta M9. And this is not precision NRA bullseye shooting. Like, we are not doing that, right? Like with a rifle. It's not a fucking sniper rifle or a hunt rifle. You don't break the glass or let the shot surprise you. You deliberate and pull it the right way. So whether it's people say these things, it's different. It's like, okay, well, I think when I say that, I've got different perspectives. I do things differently.
Yeah.
Or it seems that way. We're still getting the same fundamentals out of that everybody else is teaching. I'm just trying to get you there in a way you'll understand it in the way I have found that works for me. And then explain different ways. So it might not be the only way I explain it. Or you can try this, or you can do this. Here's your 3 focus points, right? Like hook, drive, lock, right? Equals spreading the gun. With the other hand, we spread. That becomes into just locking the gun down. This hand is your non-firing hand is actually your dominant hand in shooting. So we don't want to focus here. We want to focus on the dominant hand. It's doing the grip, strength, and drive. So we lock the gun down or spread. Then we put that palm on and we torque forward, and now we press that trigger. So now we give people these different focus points to work through, because something Seth taught me and said a lot was repeatable processes produce predictable results. So if you have a process that you can repeat over and over, you can have predictable results that you can replicate over and over, right? There's a bunch of R words and P words in there, so pardon me. But that whole spread, torque, press, over time, instead of being 3 different focus points, right? Instead of hook, drive, lock, or hook, drive, spread, that should just be spread. So those 3 focus points become 1. And now we chunk those 3 things and we make them one thing, so it becomes closer to an automated effort. Then we do that. So instead of spread, torque, press the trigger, it should just be press, right? You shouldn't have to think about all those things. Yeah. So we're taking 3 focus points, chunk them down into 1, add something else on. Take these 3 new ones, chunk them down into 1, and just execute. So kind of how I approach things is a little bit different. Got a lot of influence from Seth. I don't have a doctorate. These guys can explain it way better than I. And he's definitely a wealth of information, and people like him, like Katie Thompson from Precision as Performance. She helps me teach in Spokane, Washington. She'll come out with like little sensors, hook them up to your ears, and have a pad running behind you and be like, teet, 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 teet. All right, how did you shoot? Well, the reason you missed is if you look here on this pad, you didn't breathe here, and then your heart rate went up, and this dropped off here. And then you notice this, and shooters are like, what the hell, man? And I'm like, don't call her man. She's a woman, ma'am. Like, all this stuff, like it's different, right? And I don't when I have AIs that come out and help me, I want someone different than me. I don't want someone just like me saying the same shit. That's why I like my other buddy, Steve Winninger. He's a former SWAT cop from Bloomington, Indiana. His experiences are way different. He's built different than me. He does things a little bit different, but he puts out the same general information. But he could take something that I'm not clicking with, and he could take this person and go, hey, man, here's how I think about it. Then, boom. I'm glad you'll have a different – if you show up to a course, most of the time I have 2 instructors. Yeah. Almost always. There's a few courses that I just don't have in those areas, like Arizona and a few others. But outside of that, you're going to get 2 guys. Sometimes you get 3. So some will be SF guys that I knew. Sometimes it'll be, Seth has helped me teach a course. Katie's helped me teach a course. You got mental performance people. You got SWAT guys. You got police. Like if I can find an awesome competition shooter that is just a nerd for mechanics and like technique and all this stuff and can relay it, you bet your ass I'll get that civilian who could shoot competition. I'll get him to help AI. So if I can find that person, but it takes a special person to not a special person, but a different person to really get into the weeds of how to do things and then translate that to people, right? There's a difference in an instructor and a coach. Yeah. So when I say that, long answer, sorry.
Get it.
A lot of different perspectives that I've had, trying to roll those all into one with different environments, whether it's not just, I'm not going to try and relate this to you as an assaulter. I'll use that as an example. And we'll talk about that. But majority of people that show up aren't an SF guy. They're a special operations person. So how do we relate that to them and make it work for them and what their need is? Fit the need, right? So
fit the mission, fit their personal goal.
Mission drives training, right? What's their application? That's their application. Hell yeah. Let's center all around that.
That's what's up, dude. The things you do on the range that translated into real world application. So you were talking about things that just kind of the reason you've configured things the way that you have. And so I saw that phrase, things that translate into real world application. Are there any things that stick out in your mind?
The big one's going to be stress and vision. Okay. First off, vision is one of those things. And I don't know. So when you were shooting and learning to shoot, when people said you focus on the target and then you focus to your front sight. And then so you have a clear front sight and a blurry target. And then you shoot and then you focus back to the target.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense whatsoever?
In a life and death situation? Yeah.
Or just at all. Like, no. But here's the thing. It made sense to that guy, and that's what he was doing when he told people that. But no one ever explained to me how to do that. Right? No one ever said, I go, okay, what's that supposed to be like? Like, I don't get it. So the first couple of years of me shooting, I didn't know what the hell I was supposed to be looking at because I'm working on this focus and here, then look there, and my eyes are all cross-eyed. And then you get to other people, and they're like, nah, man, I don't do that. I just focus on what I need to do. So we shift that focal plane back. But nobody's ever explained to me what focus on this or see this or how to shift your focal plane or all these, hard side versus front side, what that means and when to do it. So I spent a lot of time trying to figure that out, and damn near going cross-eyed, right? And then I found out, guess what? My eyes are messed up, and now I have a prescription 8 years later, that I figured out when I shoot with both eyes open, what I think the sight is in the middle, it's not. It's actually up and to the left. If I close my left eye, it's up and to the left. If I open both eyes, it looks in the middle. Well, I had a vision problem. And I had to go get that fixed. And now I got glasses, and they had the whole tape thing, for like TBI shit.
Oh, yeah.
Little midline shift. So like my zero, instead of being here in the middle, it's high. Left eye, it's off over here. So that was causing problems in shooting. So I'll actually have shooters. I'll be like, hey, man, everybody, look at your sights. Close your non-dominant eye, whatever, right? So you're like, okay, cool. Your sight's in the middle? Yeah. Now open up both eyes. You're not going to focus back to your sights, but you can see through your sights and tell where it's still at. Is it still in the middle? Most people are like, yeah, it looks like it's in the middle. Then you'll have one be like, mine is way off. I'm like, okay, I'm not an optometrist or what's it called?
Optometrist, you hit it. Yeah.
That thing, but you should probably go get glasses. You should go talk to them.
Just go talk to them. Check it out.
Something's off with two eyes, right? So close it again, get it to the middle. It's not. It's in the middle. It's way off, like over and over. So you can figure things out, man. Like that's one of the things. I don't remember what the damn question was, but the other one I was going to say was stress.
Yeah.
So the big one thing I've focused on, especially a little bit in the level 1 course, and I don't know if this is true, but I've had people tell me like my level 1 course is not like most other level 1s. It's mostly, it's more like a level 2. And then my level 2 is like a 2 or a 3, whatever. Right. Yeah. But try to incorporate stress into it.
Good.
You got different types of stress. You got physical, you got cognitive, you got social and emotional. Right. And maybe those aren't exact, and I've heard different terms, whatever. I'm just going off what I call it. Physical stress, that's what we think of when we think of stress shoot. Carrying people, do burpees, shoot, get your heart rate up.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about that, but that's the easiest one. And then it's social, right? How do you react when everybody's watching you? The social pressure, that stress. We talk about that. We incorporate that. Then we do cognitive stress, which is more prevalent on the second day, which is cognitive stress, problem solving. So if you've got this much bandwidth here, right? Yeah. If I'm using up 3/4 of my bandwidth to think about putting the sights right where I want, seeing the sights and pulling the trigger, because it's not an automated effort or what people call unconscious competence or subconscious thought or muscle memory or whatever. It's in system 2. So we have to put conscious effort into it. If it's in system 1, like we just do it. We can do it. We don't have to think about it. Like driving a car, like, I don't know, like pulling the trigger, right? This should be what it is. We think of whatever, writing. We don't have to think about every little thing. We just do it and we act. So the more things we can put in system 1, more bandwidth we got open. So we're going to chew up as much of that bandwidth as possible with cognitive stress through Stroop tests, math problems, or like color numbers and this other crap or memory to where, and there's different levels of that. It gets harder and harder. We're going
Yeah.
to keep that up. So we're going to see where your skills fall off. And when they do fall off, I go, hey, man, how many people missed the targets on this little cognitive stress sheet? Everybody raises their hand. Like one guy didn't miss a target. It's like, all right, how many of you guys hit the target pretty much every time you wanted when you're just nice and easy practicing earlier?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, pretty much. I missed way more. I'm like, good. That means that this and this, or your breathing, whatever has been automated. So it's showing you need to keep working on those. So that you don't with that stuff.
Heck yeah.
So that's kind of the two things right there that we really harp on a lot, but it's the progression of things going through that course. Like it builds and then it builds and it builds.
And that definitely has a real world application, because if we're training for any type of like self-defense type situation or anything like that, there's just going to be other tasks involved. Like there just are going to be other tasks and other considerations that are freaking windows open in your little bandwidth scenario that just need to be solved.
Problem solve. You got to be able to process information and solve problems. That's it. Like
that's the game.
Like competition shooting, like for the most part, or not even competition, just shooting by itself or whatever you want to call it, planking. Like you don't have to process information. You just put the gun on target and shoot quick and accurate.
Yeah, get your fundamentals in.
The tactical side of the gunfighter side, well, what is that? Okay, well, it's the same shit, but then we're adding stuff in front of and behind. We got to process information. We got to make decisions, right? We got to make the right decisions at the right time with no room for error. So that changes some of the things in the middle, but it's still the same stuff, but it changes kind of how fast we can do it or how we go about it or how good we are at it.
And how efficient. Yeah.
Yes.
And the problem solving aspect, I think, is really when you start cooking with tartar sauce. That's when you start really separating shooters and thinkers. And that's when those are the more high level skills, man. That's
just get guys to open their eyes and go, oh crap. That's what we're doing. And like my level 2 course it's primarily a movement course. Like you get a quick little warm up, it's on you. We're not here to teach you how to shoot, but after that, it's barricades dress, and then we're moving and shooting the rest of the day. So
that's awesome.
The first day is to set us up for movement.
Yeah.
Everything you do static should translate directly into movement and should prepare you for that. So when you move, all we got to think about is move. That's it. This should happen the correct way.
Yeah, because movement is life. Like, I'm so glad to see everyone breaking away from this whole kind of like standing in front of a target party everybody was having. Because anything I've been in that's been remotely combat related, it's been an extremely athletic, dynamic event.
Yeah, man. You're getting into and out of position quickly, right?
Yeah.
You're getting your eyes on target and how fast can you get the gun on target to break the shot. And then if you've got to clear something, how fast can you get back on target? All these things, and then read and process. Am I staying here? Am I moving? I got to make decisions. Like it's all.
You're managing. No, that's what's up. Examples of things that look cool versus things that perform when you need them to.
Oh, I feel like you have something on your mind. Like you specifically asked this question. You're sitting there like with your little fingers, I can't wait to hear what he says. I'll tell you what. Why don't you tell me what you think? So
okay.
You've been hearing from me for an hour. You tell me what you think. Let me think about this. Specifically,
dude, the stinking search and assess party, the range katas, man, the daggone range katas. And I get it. Like, the civilians, we call them silly villains sometimes, but like, they just want, there's a degree of vanity that's out there. Everybody wants to look cool, be cool. I don't fault anyone for that. But what I do want to make sure is that dudes and chicks or whoever, I'm calling everybody dudes, just don't be sensitive. Like on the range, you need to be doing things that are not going to like jam you up in real life. You know what I mean? So like the kata, you're like, if you're just searching and assessing and it's becoming mechanic and you're not actually like really taking in what's going on. Like, all right, boom, I just neutralize this threat, like, and making sure you're like expanding your consciousness and your awareness and like legitimately paying attention to what's behind you, maybe moving to a more secure location and all these different things. You're not trying to find work. I think you might be training yourself into something that might not be profitable or productive for you. That's like the first kind of thingy one that was popping around in my head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them, you know, when you're dealing with, and I mean, the reality of dealing with just a paper target, you know what I mean? Like that thing's not moving, that thing's not doing a lot of things. So I don't know, keeping those considerations in mind when you're on the range, you know, range theatrics is really what I was like.
Yeah.
Poking around at, which I don't, if you do things right, like, I don't know. That's why we're having the conversation. Go ahead.
I agree. I think there's a fine line between executing what you need to do to make sure you're doing the right thing, right? So gun here, boom, 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 you take a shot. You may break it down a little bit. Our eyes lead gun. You're looking left, you're looking right. Check around you. Like, I'm not going to say that's wrong. You know, like looking around you, it's symmetric 360 environments, all that stuff. You're in Walmart, like, hey, you never know, right? So you want to look around you. And I think, so here's just a little thing. When people knock other people, they're like, why are you looking behind you? That's stupid. Okay, like, one, it's not for the threat could be anywhere, right? It's not just a room clearing situation. We got a wall behind you with three other dudes or two.
Who's there? Where's your help coming from?
What's going down? Yeah, but when you're scanning, especially as a, you know, I hate to say the term civilian, but as a concealed carrier, you're not just looking for other threats. You're a guy with a gun that just shot somebody in public. You probably want to look around to make sure you're not viewed as a threat. And looking for cops coming up. It's communication. It's this. Can I effectively holster my gun? I see what's going on. Is there some guy rushing towards me with a gun and I need to find cover and go, hey, man, hey.
I think another civilian shooter?
It was another concealed carrier, so he's not going to shoot you because all he saw was you pull out a gun and shoot somebody.
And you have tattoos.
Right.
Or you're black or you're whatever.
Yeah. I mean, white people. Everybody hates white people nowadays, right? Like, we'll shoot white people quicker than shit and be a hero. I watch CNN. Right. With all that, like, I'm not going to knock people on doing certain things. It's at the end of the day, whatever your scan is, like if you're checking between your legs, you know what I mean? But if you're like, if you're actually seeing and doing the right thing, great, do it. But like you said, don't just go through the motions. Actually,
that was my thing. I want consciousness, conscious thought, and in my mind, I'm playing through a scenario when I do something like that. I'm not just doing something like that.
And it can be simple. Just look to your left. If you're on the flat range, look to your left and see other targets. Oh, there's a barrel over there you didn't notice before. But just try and notice something. Look at the shots on other people's targets real quick. Just quick check. Yep, coming back over this way. Yep. Who's doing what? Look at other people's body language as you're scanning. If you're on the line, a flat line here, and you shoot, boom, 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 and you go through your quick scan, just look down the line. If you can see somebody, you kind of check out body language and notice that. Well, guess what? It's going to look like he's shooting a target just like you did and doing the same thing. But at least you're kind of picking that up and getting in that habit of noticing things. So the things that, I guess this is like the pet peeve portion, right? Like what you see that annoys you, kind of, or you, whatever. Yeah. So to me, it's when I see shooters, and it doesn't annoy me, like I get it. I see shooters that, you know, are you guys going to play the video? Can people see me?
Yes, they can see it. Yeah.
Cool. If they watch the video. So I didn't know if I'm just going to be doing the hand motions for nothing. Yeah. So if I'm here, you know, you see people draw and they draw and they here and they shoot and they go, and everything's like super like.
Yeah. Snap, quack, click, pop.
Snap. And it's like super, I don't even know how to put it. Part of me says, hey man, I get it because it's, you know, it's a repeatable process. In a certain way, they do the same thing every time. They do this. And being deliberate's good. But part of me when I see that is sometimes, not everybody, sometimes it's just the way they do it. No big deal, man. I'm not going to knock you for the way you look. Hey, maybe you shoot better than I do. Who knows? Like, whatever, man. I can't knock you for that. As long as you shoot good, you're doing the right thing. When I see people doing that, they're too concerned with that. Kind of like you said, they're more concerned about the way they look. It's a fine line between ego and doing the right thing, right? Practicing good habits. So when I see people doing that, my first thought is, hey, man, are you doing that because you want to impress people around you? Or are you doing that because you want to make sure you're doing things the right way?
That's
that little bit of a line, right? Yeah. So to me, when I take the best shooters in the world. So I would consider the late Ron Avery, JJ Racaza, Ben Steger. I think Tim Herron's amazing. Bob Vogel, Kyle Lamb. I think he's one of the greatest shooters in the world. Like he's just that guy, right? Like those guys, they don't do that. Why? Because they're so comfortable with everything. They're putting their focus elsewhere on what needs to be done. They know that they're going to put that mag in the same. It's not extra effort required. They're going to waste time, put extra effort, hitting that and then slamming it here and racking viciously and then punching out as hard as they can and overstretching the shoulders and hunching up and this and that. Because they're like, I shoot just as good, better not doing that. So that's not worth my time. I'm going to put focus into seeing, engaging, processing, putting bullets on targets, transitioning fast, and making sure I'm doing everything mentally right.
Yep.
So when I see people doing that, part of me says, all right, which one is it? Fine line kind of deal, ego, or trying to do the right thing. But I think at a certain point, shooters don't do that because they realize it's extra effort that I'm just wasting my time with. Because the more you do that stuff, the longer it's going to take anyway. So why wouldn't you just relax a little bit and get the gun on target quicker?
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. 100%. That's kind of what I was trying to get at. It's like, why are you doing what you're doing and how is it benefiting you really?
Yeah. If it's not beneficial, cut it out. It's just extra effort you don't need to do. So
heck yeah.
And again, I'm not knocking anybody. If you think you do that, man, just ask yourself that question. Well, why am I doing it? Like, do I need to do it? Do I really need to do it? If it's got a purpose, great, keep it, man. Your purpose can be different than ours or mine or yours or whatever. And that's fine. You got a purpose for it. It's a legitimate purpose. By all means, have at it, dude. There's not one way to shoot. There's multiple ways to shoot and do it well. So
absolutely.
But if it ain't worth it, get rid of that shit, bro.
Right. And a lot of the guys that you named, they're doing what they're doing. They're relaxed, and if they have to go to 110 miles an hour with it, and leave most of us in their dust, they can.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of the mark of guys that really are good, man. Is they all right, cool. I'm here. I know what I'm doing. I got that confidence. But if we got to flip it into 8th gear, they're there, right there. And we're still in 6th gear trying to turn it up.
That guy's 80% is our 120%.
Yeah, exactly.
Most people's 120.
Absolutely. So core tenets, man. Let's kick into those.
Oh yeah.
Core tenets of training. Provide as much one-on-one feedback as possible. That's awesome. So
in the class, like we talked about, we sent out that questionnaire. We want people to put in what they can, and then so I can group them and put out as much information that that person on the left and right will apply.
Yeah.
Usually, I don't know if you've ever been to classes, before. You've seen classes. I've only been to a couple courses, in the military that, other people instructors have put on. Right. I was in the military at the time. I wasn't one of those guys that went to a lot of different instructors courses and then started.
Not till I got out, and I'm starting to really get into it.
I think I've been to 2 while I was in the military, and that's it. Right. Yeah. But one thing I noticed was people shoot, or they explain the drill, and then they go and they sit back in the back, and show off their guns, or they hang out, right? Mm-hmm. Well, you can only put out so much information at the beginning, and I'm guilty of this. Sometimes I put out a little bit too much to the point where it's like, okay, I gotta be better about that. There's so much stuff. Now it's application time. So if I have another AI, I start on one side of the line, he starts on the other, we walk by, we go, hey, everything good? We see something like, hey, focus point, bam, 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 do this. Work through this with you real quick. Great. Boom. Move on to the next person. So at some point, everybody is getting one-on-one instruction at least every 3 drills at the most.
Awesome.
That's the thing. This is expensive. It is expensive as shit to go to a course. $275 or $300 to go. That's just the registration. For 2 days, that's $550. You're looking at $500 or more in ammo. You're looking at fees, travel and this crap. You're probably spending $1,500 just to go to a course. You know what I mean? For 2 days.
No.
Probably about $1,000 for 1 day. It's not cheap. So I'm going to make the most of the time and try and give these guys as much one-on-one feedback as possible. So
heck yeah.
Can't get to everybody all the time, but hey, as much as we can, we'll make sure we're going on the line correct and stuff.
That's what's up. And that's valuable, man. That's what guys, actually for the reviews I've done, I did one with, for Guerrilla Approach and, for Sierra group out here. And I just got back from one of Mike's classes, Knockout Lights. And one of the most common questions I'm getting is, what's the class size and how much actual instruction did you get? So it's good that you're touching on that. Because it's something that people are concerned with for sure. Be invested in your students.
Yeah. People are invested in us, right?
Yeah, right.
People are invested in us. The best thing we can do is pay that forward. Someone invested in us to get us to where we are today.
Yeah.
We're all indifferent. So by God, you should do the same for others because one, they're paying you for it, but 2, you owe it to them. They said they're trusting you to make them better. They said, hey man, I trust that you're going to make me better. They go, oh fuck. All right. That's a lot of responsibility.
Heck yeah.
I can't. I'm not going to be able to do all of it. There's other people out there that can probably do it better or get different points of view, but it's a lot of responsibility, man.
I dig that, man. I read a letter someone sent me that I was working with, and at the end, instead of saying respectfully or, whatever, he said, "Thank you for your trust, such and such." And I was like,
oh, that's so good.
It's so good. I'm using it. I'm so using it now. But it's
man, I wish I would have thought of that. God,
right? Man. Like we're in a professional relationship. I'm trusting you. You're trusting me. That's real. Thank you for your trust. It's real. I'm so using it. It's so good. Legit. And it like kind of wakes you up to what's really going on in the dynamic. I love it. Know why your student is attending the training. We kind of touched on this too with the mission of the student.
Real quick, would you mind saying who puts that out there, be invested in students? Or thank you for your trust. Who said that? At the bottom of there.
I'm trying to remember. It was like a random email I was reading.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a person, like a trainer in the industry or something.
Yeah, no, it was just somebody I'm trying to remember what it was. It was like it was an email. I just remember reading the whole email. Then at the bottom was like, "Thank you for your trust, Jeff." And I was like, I guess so, huh?
I was just joking. I might put that on there and then I'll caveat, be like, "Thanks, Byron, for the
Thank you, Byron, thank you for your trust."
Yeah, I stole this from Byron.
It's good stuff, man. Nah, you ain't gotta give me no credit. Why? Know why students are attending training. Yeah. That kind of goes into that, like, know their mission, their goals.
Yeah, man. If you don't know why they're there, you don't know what you can help them with.
Heck yeah.
If the more information we can get ahead of time, and some students take the questionnaire seriously, and I've had guys write like damn near an essay in that thing, and I'm like, "Whew, all right, man, but hey, that's good." I've had other students just be like, "Whatever, I want to shoot better," or they don't even do it. Fine, man. If you don't care to let me know why you're coming, then I'll figure it out then. But the more you can give me ahead of time, because the night before the course, I have all these printed off. If I got an AI, we lay them out. Yeah. We go over them and we read each one and then we organize them. Okay, let's put this guy here, so I know this. Okay, they're over there. These guys' names here. These are cops. Here's what they're working on. They're in a particular unit. So, yeah, man, where they're coming. You can know what you can help them with.
That's nasty. So everybody fills out a questionnaire ahead of time, and then you guys do a lot of crafting the course around that, or
Yep. And the course it's like a menu, right? Like I've got 20 pounds of shit in a 7-pound bag. And I want to get it all in, but based on what they say and kind of how the flow of the class goes, like, okay, we might cut this out. I think this would be more beneficial. Let's put focus here. There's certain parts of it, like it's got to be there. But then we have that part where it's like, okay, we can kind of free flow this. What do we have time for? What's most important? And I've had people I've had this group of guys. They're from Kentucky, from Byron, Kentucky. I've had a couple of them have been to 4 or 5 classes. And it's just a small little town on the edge of West Virginia. And they all work in the hospital, right? Mm-hmm. They all work in the hospital. They all shoot, and they're good shooters. And those guys have been to multiple classes, and they are like, man, every class is a little different. I'm like, because we have different people, like I know you guys are here. Like we had a group, I did a private course for them, like just scheduled it and went up there. And they sold 20 slots in like 4 hours. I was like, whoa. I usually cap courses at 16, man. I don't like more than 16. Yeah. I brought up another AI and we did it. But I mean, I'm going to teach that differently because you guys have been in more courses and different stuff. But
Yeah. I think that's the advantage of having that litmus test at the beginning, man, that cold and on demand. You just know where everyone's at from the jump. Absolutely. And then also know what they need to get from the training, which is essentially kind of the same type of thing.
Yep. Same stuff.
Be open.
Be open-minded, right? Just keep your mind open. Be open. Be that open person. And that kind of goes down to that mindset, and I think a lot of people talk about mindset in our industry where they say, you got to have a tactical mindset, have this mindset. All right, well, their definition of, tactical mindset is instead of just shooting the target, then they yell threat and they yell in somebody else's ear and they're like, you piece of crap. You're like, oh, okay, great. I'm like, whatever, dude. As far as I'm concerned, that's just the way you talk. Yeah. Be open to mindset is, to me, this kind of comes to a book, Mindset by Carol Dweck. She compares fixed mindset and growth mindset. Yeah. So fixed mindset, we've all heard these terms from people, right? When you say something to them, hey, this is how I do it. They go, that's stupid, dumb, retarded, and gay. They value natural ability. If it's new, they don't want to, recognize it. They don't want to try it out. They're like, that's not the way I did it. Yeah, you're second airborne.
You're dead in the water.
Yeah, fuck. So that thing, that's a fixed mindset.
Yeah.
Not your natural ability. If you can't do it right away, it's worthless, right? The growth mindset. Be open. Be open to new concepts. If it doesn't work for you, and you have a slightly different variation of the way to do that, by all means. But I know this stuff works. I know for a fact it works because I've seen guys, and I've had guys email me afterwards and go, "Hey, man, 3 months later, I've been focused on what you said, and it clicked. My time just went from your little bear standards drill, like 12 seconds with 3 misses. I just shot it in 7.5 seconds, and I just applied it, just relaxed and did it, and it was like, holy crap, and I passed it on a cold start. I've never done that before. Well, one is you're getting out and doing the work.
Yeah.
Two, you're open-minded enough to try new things and get yourself better, right? Mm-hmm. You take ego, positive side and negative side of ego.
Yep.
Negative side of the ego. I'm not going to do that and look bad in front of other people because I don't know how to do it. So I'm not going to try to do it. I'm just going to call it stupid.
Yeah.
Positive side of ego. You know what? I'm good enough. I'm not going to let myself fail at this. So I'm going to try and do everything I can to get better and try new things and do all this stuff because I am that person that will be successful.
Yeah.
Positive versus negative sides of ego. Same
Yeah.
thing with mindset. Have a growth mindset. It may not work for you, but give it a shot. Understand it's a marathon, not a sprint, and pennies made. Small value the process. It's a process. Value every small incremental thing and know it's going to take time. But at the end, you're going to be way better.
Heck yeah. That's what's up. Nah, man, that ego thing, it's a big one for me because it gets a bad rap. It has to be managed, but it's so important at the same time. If you can't do something because your name's attached to it, and that positive side of ego, you're also missing some trash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I'm sure you've learned that over the years too, man.
Yeah, dude.
Got ego, man. I bet it got you just like it did me when we were young.
Yeah, dude. There was a time when I hated myself as I realized that executive protection was a service. It's all about service. I remember being like, this is what it is. This is how it's going to be. Like I'm I'm doing it with this is how it's going to, this is what I'm doing right now. I mean, like 10 minutes ago, I was overseas doing this, that, and the next thing. And now this is, I had to like,
you're like, I'm babysitting a Kardashian.
Yeah. Right. Like what's really important and how can you, and then it was like this whole dance of like, how can I get my psychology to value and survive in this type of world and find meaning and trick myself into understanding and loving this dynamic in it. And I'm glad I was able to get the maturity to do it, prove why you said you prove why you teach what you do.
Provide why I teach what I do. So give the why.
Provide why. Yeah.
And that's the big thing I say is if you're going to give the what, you got to give the how and you got to give the why.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but in school or growing up or whatever, there's always that little kid that someone will say something like, why?
Why though?
Why? Well, it doesn't make sense to me. Why? Why are you doing this way? Why don't you do it this way? Like we're those annoying ass kids. Were you similar to that?
Yeah, man. Oh, for sure. Why though? But it's a smart kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm like, I was just really smart, right? And I was a smart ass is what I was.
Yeah,
but,
right.
I mean, we have to understand why you do something. If you can take something, understand the concept behind it. If you're just doing something without knowing why, you ain't going to do it. You're not going to see the value in it. You're not going to drive it home. You're not going to tie that focus point of that drill, that touch, that feeling, that emotion that happens as you put that gun out. All that stuff that really shortens that learning curve, right? From just being some mindless activity to being like, oh, I get it. Here's why. And then we take off.
Right.
Anything that we can figure the why out in and we can have purpose behind it, we're going to put a lot more focus into it related to that. So when to the why, it's not just why do we do it this way? Well, here's what it's going to do for you. Here's how it's going to be better, right, than this other version. So I'm going to talk about these other ways to do it. And so why this one I think is best. But now I'm going to relate it to you, right? So people talk about high ready, low ready, right? Like, okay, so which one's better, high ready or low ready?
Situation.
One is not better than the other, right? Situation dependent. But it's like, all right, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Are you military law enforcement? Well, no. Okay, perfect. Good. So you could concerned citizen, right? So you conceal carry, you do this, or bump in the night in your house, home defense situation. If you're going down a hallway in your house to clear it, and would you be at the high ready or low ready? Well, I mean, there's nobody in front of me, right? I heard bump in the night. Like, okay, where's your family at? Well, they're behind me back in my room. My wife is. My kid's upstairs. So
are they upstairs? Yeah.
I heard something, so I'm going down there. So everything in front of you potentially bad. Yeah. You want to be at the high ready or low ready? Low ready, I think, because my gun would be more prepped and I'd have the light right here. Well, yeah, you could hit the ceiling with your light and cause a spill, but you could have that light, Oh, that makes more sense, right? All right. Well, now you're at Walmart, right? And the ISIS horde has just invaded.
The ISIS horde it's finally happened. Yeah. Zombie apocalypse at Walmart. We knew it was going to happen at Walmart.
Tactical Jesus is shooting off bottle rockets, like doing keg stands, like everything is happening. Like right. Puppies, if you do not solve this problem and end the shootout at Whole Foods, puppies are going to die all around the world, right? So you're coming in there and you're doing this, like, and there's people and pandemonium all around you, and you're trying to figure stuff out, right? And I hold my hands up, like one hand the high ready, and I got my other hand, and I'm like, okay, trying to figure this out.
Operationally,
I go, now do I want to be at the high ready or the low ready? Then I'll lower my hands. Well, I mean, if you're low ready, technically you're kind of like pointing guns at people, right? I'm like, yeah, or it's all the way down at the swivel position here, but it's a little bit longer to get it on target. So my gun's prepped, high ready, muzzle just pointed up, and I can keep it back so I can use that to strike, but keep my other hand clear just to manage people, push to the side, clear away, whatever. I can use this other hand. That seemed better. They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, so it depends on your environment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's one of the explanations of provide the why, and we teach what we do. And it's people don't understand why. They're always going to ask those same questions, and people get mad. They're like, well, that's a stupid question, and then someone feels stupid. Well, hey, they didn't know, man. Like, I'm not here to make anybody feel bad.
Right.
Like, I'll tease people about stuff, but I'm generally going to give that answer on why we do something, because if you don't know why, you don't know when to do it.
You don't know what tools. Like, if you know the why, you're going to look for the tools to figure out how to do the right thing.
You just figure things out.
Yeah.
Here's the why, and this is bad, and here's the why, and what do you want to do something? Then you can go, then in that situation, I would do this. Now you've got to make decisions, which is what we want, not just try to do something somebody showed up.
Because that's how they told me to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what the Nazis said, bro.
Yeah. We know what happened there.
Yeah, right. Understanding each shooter's level of proficiency. We hit that.
Yeah.
Refine the basics to support progress.
Can we go back on that? I'm just real quick on that one.
Yeah.
So I had a student this last one, and I run my classes differently. There's a little bit of a surprise right off the bat. You know what I mean? Which a lot of people aren't prepared for. But it's a cold start. And the way we run it is to incorporate certain types of stress. I won't get too much into it. But we had a lady show up, and this guy was like, hey, can my wife come? Like, yeah, of course she can. I don't know. You guys have a gun. Show up to the rifle course. Yeah. So she's never really shot before. I was like, okay, as long as she's safe and can keep the muzzle pointed at the target and the gun on safe and it's pointed at the target, we're fine. I go, man, I'll handle all the rest. We started the cold start, and she was like shaking. She starts walking off the line. She's like, I don't think this is for me. I don't think this is for me at all. Like, I don't think I'm prepared for this. Okay. And I kind of pulled her off the side. I was like, hey, gal. Hey. Yeah. She was like, kind of looked at me because I don't talk that way in the beginning.
That's us, guys.
It incorporates the stress. I joke around a lot at the beginning. And she was like, I was like, hey, what do you have to do when you step up there? She's like, well, I got to check my this and that. I was like, no, you got to keep the gun safe. And when you bring it up, I just want you to shoot 5 rounds. And if you want to reload 3 and shoot that, you can do it. But if not, just go up there and shoot the target, kind of like what I told you to. That's it. If you want your money back, if you don't want to be here in 30 minutes, once I'm done with the brief, I'll refund all your money and I'll, 100%.
Yeah.
She looked at it, she's like, all right. And then after that, she was like, oh, when it was all over, she's like, oh my God. I was like, yes, don't worry about it. Anybody with level proficiency, as long as you're safe with the gun, you can show up to a course. Yeah. We want to hammer that in. By the end of the day, I told her, I was like, hey, her name's Amanda. I was like, Mandy, excuse me. I said, Mandy, I'm really impressed by you. I am so damn proud of you right now. From the moment you showed up, but now, you're safe with the gun. You're actually shooting better than a couple guys to your right who have been around guns for a while because you're just taking it easy and doing it. I go, that's a lot of stuff. I go, are you still stressed out? You think you're comfortable doing this? She's like, oh yeah. I'm
had a moment.
I just had a moment. I just thought it was don't ever say you can't do this, right?
Yeah,
if you take a step back and say this is a little advanced for me, that's one thing. But anybody can shoot any proficiency level with gun, of course. Yeah. You just got to understand what it is.
Heck yeah. No, and that's exactly right. And I'm glad you took that teachable moment because it'd be tragic for her to be wandering around the rest of the world her whole life. I'm just scared of guns because
I went to a class one time. I went to a class once and it just wasn't for me. And then she never does it again. And then what happens a few years later, I just don't want to touch the gun anymore. And then what happens? Next thing you know, she's out of mom's demand action,
you beat me to it.
Guns or buy it. I heard you leading into it. I saw you leading into it. Yeah, I was like, next thing you know, she's on CNN with that one lady. She's like, guns are evil. She's getting divorced. Her husband's upset. Whose fault was it? Mine. Not gonna be my fault, homie.
Not going out
I'm not gonna let that happen.
And that man brought her that course because he believed you could be the guy.
Now she's gonna be right next to Dana Loesch or something. Just like, who knows? I don't know. But
that's funny.
It was. It was. I would hate for that to happen because one opportunity where she thought she couldn't do it.
Yeah, man. He's like, this guy's gonna be the one. That's what's up.
Fine to go to a course.
Heck yeah. No, I agree 100%. Maximizing economy of motion.
Yeah. Cut out the refrigerator theory, right? Like how do refrigerators make shit cold? Well, one, they pump cold air into it. The other part is they suck out the heat. Suck out the heat. That's it. So maximize economy of motion, get rid of wasted effort. You can't argue with, getting the gun on target fast as long as you adhere to certain principles and cut out all the extra shit that's causing you to be slower or causing you to not hit the target. There's a lot of excess shit out there. Just get rid of it.
Right.
So.
Right. Seriously.
Yeah.
Who wins the fight is who gets accurate shots on target first.
Yeah. So pretty self-explanatory, right? I think everything's I kind of view this as performance shooting in a way, because you've all seen that the person who can go out and they kind of just go pow, pow. They can hold the target. I'm like, great. But you had
they keep the target afterwards and they take a picture of it.
Yeah. It's like no one cares about your shot group.
It took you a half hour to do.
Like, that looks good, but how about you used up, I could have done that and I could put 6 rounds on target in half that time in 2 seconds. I'm more impressed with that, even though you may have used up the entire acceptable, accuracy that we have. Like it's a 6-inch circle or 3-inch circle, whatever the drill calls for it. But push speed, man, they'll just slow. So let's go fast. I'm going to push you to go fast, but we're going to see where that line is between accuracy and speed.
Heck yeah. No, I dig it. That's what's up. When I always see people taking all that time to shoot, I'm like, let's get the fundamentals down and then let's pull the trigger, man. Oh,
it used to drive me nuts, man.
What are some common failure points you see with pistol shooters generally?
Yeah, so the biggest one, especially in pistol, right off the bat, and everything, this I think holds them back more than anything else after it. And that's where your sights are at. Did the bullet go right where your sights were?
Okay.
Right. How many people have you taught, man? If you teach just as
putting the sights on the thing.
Where did it go? It went. If you're a right-hand shooter, it goes straight left, or it goes down and left, or if you're left-hand shooter, it's just the opposite. Or the rounds are going high, or sometimes the rounds go straight down. Right? You're like, well, why is that? Well, the rounds are going high because as you shoot, you look over your sights to the target to look for the impact. What happens? The muzzle tips up a little bit, and you put the round high. Right? Yeah. Okay. As long as you understand that flat on top equals space on both sides and how your sights line up with your muzzle, right? Where it's supposed to go. Rounds go left because you don't have a reference point, but the trigger's not coming straight back the same angle every time. You're not putting your finger on the trigger the right way. Depending on how long your fingers are, it's going to depict how you do that. Longer fingers, shorter fingers. Some people need to cock out the knuckles so they can pull this way. Some people think they're pulling straight back and they're not, so we'll find a new reference point. So pull to your elbow versus pull straight back to your wrist. Oh, well, now my bullets go right where I want. Great. Well, now they're not. Well, what's your finger doing? Whoa, my finger's off to the side. We'll put more finger out and do the same damn thing. Oh, shit, bolts are back on target. Now do the same damn thing every time. The rounds go into the inside and to the left. It's like, well, you're gripping the shit out of the gun as you shoot. So when you get rid of that, let's put the focus over here. Blah, 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 this and that. We fix all that stuff. So once we hit, that is the common thing with a pistol. No one cares, like, what your recoil looks like. Yeah. But you have this, like, double stacked, like, where they put the middle finger like up into the trigger guard and the index finger around the light. Super crank. So like that one shoulder is really high. They call it the tactical turtle. No one gives a shit about that if the bullet ain't going where the sights are at. Yeah. And if you can't do that, then your recoil management isn't as important. It hasn't come into play yet or trigger yet. So that's the beginning. That's the start. And after that, like, we'll see guys and be like, hey, why didn't you bullet? Well, I was shooting in this. What was your reference point? Did you pull the trigger back? Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right. I think I felt the trigger. My finger was over here, so I felt flat on a normal stock Glock trigger, which actually means you're off to the side because the Glock trigger is not flat. It's got a line in the middle of the trigger bar and then an apex, so you should feel that line in equal pressure. So I felt flat, and I pushed that trigger over here because I was just doing, like, maybe the people watching the video, but basically just, like, curling my finger all the way over versus pulling back like this.
Straight back.
Right? Yeah, like we just got to figure that out. Every hand is different. Every gun is different. So how the hand meets up with the gun. So we just do that. And that's the biggest thing. Once we got that, great. We'll focus on the rest. But we got to get that first off the bat. So that's the biggest thing. Even with really good shooters, they'll be shooting and then one just off to the side, and one off to the side. Great.
Okay. Yeah. Basically that gap right between where your sights are and where the round impacts.
Yes.
You pull the trigger. I dig it, man.
Yeah, that's got to happen. None of those
it's like when you get done shooting. I mean, we have a saying in my squad that I shoot competitively with. We get done and it's like, aim more, less. You know what I mean? And it really is like you're going through the stage, you're managing stuff, and it's like, nah, dude, like aim more, bro. Like it's a real thing. Yeah, it's funny.
Feel right, see right, and do that over and over and over quickly.
Absolutely. What would you say about helping a shooter gain confidence? The confidence that they need to be able to operate with their CCW gun.
For that, I mean, I think like confidence comes in, the work you put in, right?
Yeah.
If you don't put the work in, you're not going to be confident when the moment arises. But if you can look at yourself and say, whether it's a cold start or standard or a real life situation or a test of some sort, whatever that is, if you haven't put the work in, you know if you haven't put the work in.
Absolutely.
If you put the work in, you step up and go,
all right, let's do this.
I'm good with that. Yeah. The other part of that is don't doubt yourself. Recognize the work, value the process, value the fact that you've put in the work. And this is just your time right now to show how hard you work. Don't get greedy and outrun your headlights. You know what I mean? And overperform. Try and do better than you're capable of. But if your 100% is, we'll just use the Bear Standards thing, right? It's 12 seconds on a Bear Standards. Then step up, shoot it right in 12 seconds like you can do. If your 100% is 7 seconds, do that or go 95% 100. So you go right to that limit where the wheels don't fall off. You know what I mean? Yeah. But understand you've worked hard. Value that. Recognize that. And tell yourself, I've done this much work. Mm-hmm. And understand that, don't focus on all the failures. Learn from those. But focus on the victories and all the success you've had and how much better you've gotten. So many people are so damn negative. They say the same shit all the time. Well, I can't do that. I can't do that. Instead, this guy, so that T1 CS guy, right, shot the Bear Standard thing in 4.7 seconds or something in concealment, right? All I saw was a gun out and then pow, and a reload somewhere in there and it was fucking dead. It was impressive, right? And then, Mil-Spec Mojo, Don, he shot it in 4.8, with I think a Glock 34 from an ALS holster.
All right.
It's not that you can't do that. It's just that you're not there yet. I can't do that. I'm just not there yet. You're here, and that's your goal level. That's totally okay. Too many people are so fucking negative, man.
Yeah.
This is that drives me nuts. I'm sure it does you too.
No, same here, dude. It's a mindset piece. It's I can't do that. Nah, you're struggling with that. You're learning how to understand that. You're learning how to do that. Sometimes I have trouble with this. This is the way I talk. You know what I mean? It's this is something I'm getting better at. This is a friction point for me. But you will not hear me say, I can't do that. I'm learning how to do that. This is something that I've been working on. Heck yeah, dude. Because your brain is listening and experiential information is what shapes your beliefs and your paradigm.
If you say, I can't do it, guess what? Your brain goes, oh, I can't do it.
All right, cool, sweet.
Yeah. There's a part of me that's I get it, man. Some people are just negative and they've been taught that. I haven't framed things that way.
Yeah.
But it's hard, man. It's hard to.
When you know the truth.
Yeah. Would you say it's hard for people to believe in themselves sometimes?
It is, and it kills me. Well, a lot of it I think depends on. Oh God, you don't get me. You get me going on something crazy, but for me, yeah, dude. When I hear people, it is hard for them to believe in themselves, and I think that's one of the biggest tragedies because you have to. The most powerful power to acquire is willpower. The biggest, most important respect to gain is self-respect. And so everything starts with you being able to believe in your dang on self. So when you have someone who's I can't, or confidence comes from experience. And so I got to get you to get these experiences. Cause if you can't do this one thing and become your own superhero, bro, you're dead in the water. You ain't never going to have enough grape soda to get yourself out of the situation you're in. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think maybe some of that has to do with the fact that they're comparing their success with others' success? So they're trying to say, well, my success right now is really I want it to be this, elite top
I
level.
could never do what you're doing or did type of thing.
Yeah. Like, well, I'm not there, so I suck. Like, no.
Yeah. Nah, man. Your success
I've been doing
is
this
relative.
for 3 months. That guy's been doing it
Yeah.
for 10 years. Like,
Yeah. No, I agree. Your success is relative, bro. Yeah. I mean,
yes.
like if you can come out here and shoot your trash and I don't give a dang if it takes you 10 seconds to get through the whole damn image. But if you leave the range and you're shooting it an 8 at the end of the day or 9, or if you're shooting at anything better than 10, or maybe you have more accuracy and you're still shooting it at 10, dude, it's relative. Yeah, I'm saying that's where I'm at, man. Like
your success is your success.
And if you got the balls to stick with it, before you know it, you're going to change the game up here and be on a different level. And like when you know that, trying to get someone else to believe that, that's the game. Yeah. I dig
and
it.
I think that's what took, whether it's us or other people, once you stop comparing yourself, we stop comparing ourselves to others, because I was really guilty of that. I look down the line, shooters, I'm like, man, that guy's shooting better than me. And I tried to do better, and I couldn't do it. Why couldn't I do it? Because I wasn't there yet. So I would perform worse than if I just said, I'm just going to do me, do my best. Like in CrossFit, they say it's you versus you, right?
Yeah.
It's the same damn thing in shooting. Shooting's an individual sport.
Yeah.
You can only do as good as you can do.
Yeah.
If you do better than you can do, then it's either A, you underestimated yourself, or B, you got really lucky and you will never replicate that again.
Yeah.
We don't fucking work on luck, right?
You went, you went in some zone.
Yeah, like you just quit being greedy, quit wishing you were somebody else. Just say, hey, this is where I'm at. Like, I have this one opportunity to do my best, and I'm just going to do as best as I can do. And I understand that's okay. Just be okay with that, and you will get better, because that's a good rep. That's reinforcing right, and that will make you better. Yeah, just do that.
That's literally the magic, though. Like, literally, the magic is focus on yourself. Like, you look down the line, you're like, dang, I'm the slowest shooter here. And then you just shut that out. And then you're like, how can I make my best better? And then you blink and a year or two goes by and you're the guy down the line.
Yeah.
And you're killing the game. You know what I'm saying?
And you look over and there's like 3 little heads poked out. And you just see them like, mouthing. They kind of talk to each other. They're like, they're breathing. They're like pumping themselves up, doing like
that's the magic.
Powerlifting, like chest slaps. Like, oh, dude. You're like, you're gonna fail this, dude.
Yeah, you're too tense, man. And that's the magic.
I told students, and this is what I had to tell myself: quit caring.
Yeah,
quit caring. Quit caring about how well you do, what other people think. Compare yourself to others. Just quit giving a damn. Quit caring, and you will get better. Because then you can just do you. Yeah. And I've had a couple of people and it's hard, man, because we're alphas. We want to be in control. We want to do well, but that will burn you out over time if you're too aggressive in that kind of mindset, because it's constant failure, never meeting your own expectations. You're going to feel worthless. You're going to feel like you're not good at it. So I've had a couple of people where I've literally had them shoot like a 2-2-2, right?
Yeah.
On steel. And I go, hey, man, what I want you to do, relax. I want you to see everything. I want you to quit caring. I don't care if you hit the target. Don't oversee anything. Just notice this, notice that. I want you to slow down like what you would consider like 500ths of a second, 300ths of a second. And I go, literally take a breath. Don't tense up and just quit giving a shit. I don't care if you hit anything. Majority of the time, I'll go beep and I'll go ding, 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 ding. They're like, what just happened? I'm like, see, you're completely capable. If I can get you to quit worrying about this shit and so Frank Proctor says it, let it do. Just let it do. Then guess what? You're going to get your damn hits. I go, did you see anything? They're like, no, I didn't. Well, yeah, I mean, I saw like a flash of red over the target. I just broke the shots and just drove the gun. And I really get all 6 hits. I'm like, yeah, you got all 6, right? They're like, yeah, that was fucking good, really good for them, Like, well, it's because you just let it happen. You just do it. Quit worrying about it. Quit caring and just do it. Now, obviously, we need to see at that speed, but that's processing, visual stuff, and that will happen. You actually start to see faster over time.
Yeah.
But, you can get people to quit caring, man.
Too many
shocked how much better they'll get.
Yeah, man. It's like that Last Samurai, too many mind.
That's good.
I love that trash, man.
Yeah.
And then are there any other targets that you wanted to bring out into the, that are worth mentioning?
So I got 4 targets on the website.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody knows the standard target. I did a 0 target, just a 5200 0 for the rifle, point aim, point impact, little stuff.
Okay.
Only 50. It's also got a box for your laser for the LA5 Pack 5s. So just constant offset the laser with your line of sight. It's got the little boxes that tells you where to put your vis or your IR. it's pretty damn close to accurate, but it works, right? So that way you're not crisscrossing your laser with your bullets and weird shit. Just wherever your fucking laser is, 1 inch down and half an inch to the right or whatever it is or where your sight is, your red dot, 1 inch down, half an inch to the right is where your laser is going to be every time, which constant offset. So have that, just a quick zero target, nice and easy. Have a warm-up target, which is more or less kind of what we do in the first half of the first day, the first half of the first level 1 course. And that's just a progression, right? Like it's made for cops especially, or people with limited budgets, just to say, hey, I don't have a whole lot of ammo. It's 150 rounds. Work this from start to finish, and now you've got progression.
It's like a full package.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And you obviously shoot more. Yeah, shoot it more, but it starts off with a trigger ISO, which is did the bullet go where the sights are at? High ready, low ready, or your press outs on draw, reload. Then it's got cadence and throttle control. Then the other one I have is, actually I got 5. Sorry. Then the other one I have is it's a dot rhythm cadence drill that Seth, actually the doctorate mental performance guy for SOCOM.
Yeah.
He developed that. It's basically it's a print off of 4 pages. Print it in landscape, the dots will be bigger. One guy printed it in portrait, it's like half a sheet. I was like, damn, dude, that's pretty good shooting for printing it. Half size of
small.
But, it's like ticked and it got little things. So you put it up, it's got a little line. So you put this one up, you put this one below it, and then you put these to the side. It's got these different dots. There's a chart that says, hey, shoot bigger dots, you'd shoot quicker. Smaller dots, you would take a little more time to get accuracy. And it has you like shoot these numbers in order and work back. So it starts basic, then it starts going here and around. And so you're just with the pop, driving the gun farther, and then faster shots, throttle control, really good drill for that. Just to work on drive the gun to the next target, see my sights, recognize the size of the target is bigger in relation to my sights, so I can shoot a little quicker because I can open that shotgun clip slightly to gain speed, blah, blah, blah. And then recognizing smaller, go whoop, brakes.
Slow down.
Yep.
Yeah.
The last one is a target ID primer, which is it's a slow, methodical, focused thing that has the whole stuff next to it, but it's one target that works in our snapshot, hands in, shoot for target identification. One doesn't have a gun, one has a gun.
Shoot.
Yeah, so they just put them both up, and all I tell you to do is just, from the holster or ready position, just look off the paper and then just look down at one of them, recognize that there's a gun or not a gun, and then go through the process. So it's a primer. It's not a target ID. It's to get you in the mindset to actually start working shoot threats and non-threats. Because a lot of people jump into threats and non-threat from shooting fast and accurate. They go, oh, fuck, I just smoked a non-threat. We need to prime that brain, right? So that's all it is. And it explains it. But you work your vision from broad target focus to get your snapshot. Then you break down that onion into narrow target focus for the hands, aim, and then shoot. So it's that upside down Y for the hands. Identify the hands. Bring it up to so guys aren't shooting the gun. You've seen that a lot too. Yeah. And then no shoots too. Like you see that, you identify, you start to draw the gun, and you recognize there's no gun, and you can pull that out. So it's just kind of for you a primer. So
yeah. I dig it. That's what's up. Yeah. No, you got a bunch of stuff. You guys got to go check those out. I've definitely shot. I remember the one you were just talking about threw me off a little bit. I actually had a habit of shooting the gun a little bit for a little bit there, so I had to work out of that. Yeah, man. Why'd you go? This might be whatever. There are no stupid questions.
No stupid questions. It's a stupid
Bear. BAER.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what I tell most people.
Yeah.
When I signed up for the website, I accidentally spelled it wrong. It was a typo, so I just kept it.
Yes, that's something I would do.
Yeah, that is not the truth, though. I tell people that because people are like,
thank God.
What did you bear? That's not how you spell bear. Why would you spell a bear like that? Bears are.
You really think that's
you know what that you're spelling? Oh, this is my favorite. Did you know that you spelled bear wrong? The E goes in front of the N. And I remember a guy said that. I got this. Hold on. What? Are you serious right now? No, that's how it's spelled. It's it's BAER. He was like, wow, man, you spelled bear wrong. I was like, oh, shit. I've had this company for 2 years. Oh, my God. The whole time you're telling me. And he was like, yeah, wait, you're messing with me, aren't you? I was like, yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
All right. So that's what I told him. It was just a typo. And I was like, crap, I already signed up with the federal FEIN and named the company, for the IRS, or I already signed up on the website and I was supposed to have kept it. So no, Bear, first off, I was on Bravo Cell. And nickname with us, we were really good. So we got along great. And the guys, Josh and Justin, and the dude. So we nicknamed somehow, I don't know how it came about, probably just bullshitting in Iraq. We called ourselves Bear Cell, right? And then it became a joke, and we kept it. And then we made little patches, like cell tags, instead of like, our call side, like whatever, 1 or 2 or 3, right?
Yeah.
It was a bear outlined, and then like a number 1, 2, or 3 in the middle. We wore them, man. It was great. So then we'd joke around and be like, and tell people, oh yeah, we're the, you're the, like, I don't know, just stupid stuff. You're the aardvark cell. We're like, fuck that. We're like, badass. What's an animal with an A that's awesome? We're like, the anteater cell, because one of the dudes was uncircumcised. We're like, anteater cell, right? And we just, joke around with
military. Yeah,
just military humor, right? It's way funnier in the moment, I promise. And it makes more sense. But looking back, I tell a story, I'm like, none of that was funny or cool, but
when you're in Iraq and you're staring at sand dry all day, that's hilarious.
So that was part of it. The other part is if we had a son, I get to pick the name. We had a daughter, my wife gets to pick the name. So she picked McKenna because we had a daughter. I was a boy, I was going to name him Bear, B-A-E-R.
Yeah.
Right. I'm super glad I had a daughter. I think God was like, hey, that's the best thing we can do for you because you're an idiot. Part of it's payback. Part of it's need to grow as a man. So you're getting a daughter. Yep. And I'm super grateful for that. I've never hoped for anything different. But if we did have a boy, it's going to name Bear. I just like the name Bear. That was a cool name.
Heck yeah.
Bears are the only, like what some people would say, like the self-aware land mammal in like North America. So they have like a self-awareness about them that other animals don't. You'll actually like pick up, like a bear will like pick up a rock and like bludgeon another animal with it. Or like polar bears will knock off sheets of ice to kill things. I was like, wait a second, a bear will use something. Polar bears will what? Knock off like sheets of ice to kill penguins.
Oh, they use tools.
Yeah. So those like they use a tool or something to kill something else. I was like, that's pretty human of them, right? It's pretty shooter of them. So yeah, that was cool. And then so I got several reasons. The last one is so I speak Arabic, right? I don't say I speak Arabic. I learned Arabic for my job. Yeah, fluent. And every time they'd be like, the scenario would like, oh, we're going to the zoo. Like, in Arabic, what animal do you see at the zoo? I'd be like, Al Dub. Dub is bear. And that's the only animal I could freaking remember. So anytime the scenario came, I would just be like, bears. Like what animal do you like? It'd be like a hibou, dub, polar. I love polar bears. It'd be like any other animals. And I'd be like, no. Bears. So bears, it's the only animal I learned. So that was it. Yeah, man. So I love bears. We go to the zoo, man. I just love bears, man. Go to the damn zoo. Yeah, I want some shirt. Like, you see these shirts. It's a training company shirt, and it looks like Affliction and like some tactical elite thing had a baby. Made a T-shirt. I'm like, no thanks. I would rather I want people to think they got my shirt at like REI. What kind of outdoorsy or something?
Yeah. No, it's clean. It's different. Yeah. I didn't notice that instantly, bro. Yeah. Good job.
It doesn't like bears, man. If you don't like bears,
you're wrong.
You hate America.
Wrong country.
Yeah. You hate freedom and liberty if you hate bears. All right?
Yeah, exactly. I could crack so many more jokes, but I'm take it there right here.
Dude, it's so the discount code. Like people give you discount codes, like Victor's happened with them for students or whatever. Yeah, it's the same code with my bare hands. Like
that's what's up.
With my bare hands.
With my bare hands.
My buddy, when I started the company, he's a great dude, SF guy. He'd be like, did you do it with your bare hands? He'd always say that. Like no matter what it was, he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm making dinner. He's like, are you doing it with your bare hands? So nonstop, everything he could say.
Now the code, is it spelled with my bare hands B-E-A-R or B-A-E-R?
No, it's spelled the correct way, B-A-E-R.
See, okay. Roger that.
Yeah, be like the company with my bare hands.
Heck yeah, that's what's up. Noted. Underneath your custom courses on the website, you have leadership team building courses. Yep. What do those look like, Evan?
So I did some stuff for Ole Miss University, their strength and conditioning department. So basically it was how do we be better strength coaches? I was like, cool, soft lessons learned, what we do with team building, this and that. And then mostly it was a communication thing for like how these strength coaches communicate like lower, like down to the student athletes, laterally amongst other coaches to make sure they're more effective, expectation management, get work done, everything else, be a better team. And then also hire to their bosses and then look at how we set goals, whether it's, hey, here's our end state, we have a project or a task end state. We know what the reason is behind it, all that, develop our milestones and blah, blah, blah. So basically did stuff like that. And I broke out different examples of stuff like based on those three concepts from stuff that we had with teams, right? And then what it means to be a good leader, what it means to be like to mentor people, whether you're a coach or this, or how it means to be a good teammate, picking up slack. It went over really well. Like even the people at first who were kind of like, whatever. Yeah, of course. By the end of it, they were all joking around. They actually had a good time. So I view that as a win, right? Because for them, it was mandatory fun. Some guy coming in to teach them how to be better coaches. And I was like, look, I ain't here to teach you how to be a better coach. I'm here to talk about stuff that we learned and how to apply that based on different stuff. And then we broke down like how to communicate, because a lot of them have female athletes, right? They're males, like female athletes. So we talked about differences, like it takes all types, right? How to communicate with certain personality types versus others. So we did that. It was really cool. So I did stuff like that. I've had a few other people, a couple football teams, or a football team in Texas too, that were working out, and a few others. So that's there if anybody wants it.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's good stuff, man. Yeah. Especially for like the EP teams and stuff like that. Learning that stuff. That's good trash. Rituals that make you better at your job, daily rituals, any rituals, lifestyle stuff.
Set the focus for the day, what we're going to accomplish, and get something physical in, right? So when I'm not on when I don't have my book where I write down my task and execute, guess what? I don't do anything of that. When I set my task for the day, I'm way better at it. I don't always do that. Sometimes I have good days and bad days, right? So I get back into my rut, get back into my routine after traveling and everything else, which has been this week, basically. So get back in the routine, do something physical, get the body feeling good, feeling good, the mind will feel even better. All those kind of things. Just normal stuff like that, really. So if I don't have that here it is right here. Book. Boom!
There it is.
Attached to it. So if I don't have this bad boy, you can see, I just got a new one too. You can see that I will be out of it right there.
Wow, there it is. Yeah. There it is, man. That's what's up. No, I dig it. That's where it all starts. I think so much comes out of physical exertion, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually. Yes. If it's done right with the right frame of mind, man. That's what's up, brother.
Work is good, man. When you work, physical work, God,
so just feel good. It's good for your soul.
Feel like you can do anything.
Yeah.
I'll go learn particle theory. I'll make that guy in the Big Bang look stupid. After a good workout. About 30 minutes later, when the endorphins kick off, you're like, okay, maybe not. But.
All right. No, I dig it, man. That's what's up. It's you carry around a certain knowing. Confidence comes from experience. You have a good workout. You walk through your day with that. Yep. Where are you at? What are you doing now? Where can people find you?
So go to my website, BaerSolutionsLLC.com, BAER SolutionsLLC.com. You can hit the contact form there. We have classes loaded up on the site right now. I'll have some more coming out here before long. So we have another law enforcement course going up in New Hampshire, a few others that we schedule in. I've got a bunch of private stuff going on. I'll probably contract work with Border Patrol, NYPD, counter-terror stuff, and some other people going on. I'm kind of waiting to find out of some Army guys too, 2 different Army units, so that'll be cool. So hopefully all those come to fruition right now in those final stages of just giving them the invoice and the bid, and they said it should be signed off on soon. So that, if you want to communicate with me, by all means, I update through Instagram like everybody does now. Everything I do on Instagram posts automatically to Facebook, but I do not check Facebook.
Yeah,
it's too much. It's enough for me to do one social medias.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do 2. Okay. I check that Facebook like once every 2 or 3 weeks, maybe. Yeah. So if you do Instagram or email me through the website, I check emails pretty often. I do a pretty good job getting back, except when I get swamped and traveling a lot. But those are the biggest things. Other than that, coming up, I've got Spokane, Washington in May. That one's sold out. Good. You got a standby list for that. I think I got 7 guys on standby for it.
Okay. Jeez.
And then Salt Lake City, I've got 2 or 3 on standby. That one's sold out. And then Border Patrol, a private, some other stuff. I don't go look at the schedule. So
check the website.
Try to keep the rest of the year kind of open, after like August. So
okay,
it's going to be the last busy month. I'll start rescheduling some more. So
heck yeah.
Yeah, man.
Okay, good to go, man. Yeah, no, follow this guy on Instagram. Follow Executive Protection Lifestyle on Instagram. Byron Rodgers on Instagram if you're not already on there. But
if you don't follow Executive Protection Lifestyle and Byron Rodgers, it's like that Talladega Nights. You don't chew Big Red. But
yeah.
Same thing. You don't follow Byron.
You're
wrong.
wrong.
French. All right.
Right. That's where we're going. Texas.
You got one of the coolest stuff you're putting out with your podcast, your Instagram, just everything. The information you put out, man, is awesome. I love seeing what you do, man. You are crushing it. And I'm pretty excited you asked me. When you said, hey, we're going to podcast, I was like, oh, me? You want to talk to me? Yes. So I love what you do, man. I think it's so damn cool. So I really
thank you. Thank you so much. That means a lot. That's the motivation for me, man. I appreciate that. And you got to hit me up when you come back to SoCal, man. We got to get it in.
Yes.
Here.
Hopefully I don't come back to SoCal anytime soon.
I know.
But if I do, I promise I'll be there to hang out with you.
We all hate it, dude. It's so funny. Half the trainers I have on here are like, maybe.
Yeah. I love working with the cops, man, out there. Doing stuff for people are great. But God, if I can't find a men's bathroom at the pizza joint, if they don't have one.
Right.
I'm sorry, but
what are we doing? I know.
You can have your other trans bathroom too. That's fine. But can I please have a
men deserve stuff.
So I went in the women's. I was sick. I got food poisoning. I'm on day 2 of food poisoning. I walked in there. I was like, they were like, well, I don't know what you're going to do. Like, are you serious? Like, well, is it no? So I looked, I was like, well.
Men aren't humans, only women. And
I was like, women has men in it. So, yeah, I'll do that, right? Yeah. Some poor lady walked in after me after been sick for 2 days. Almost got the Black Death from B-Dubs, food poisoning. Lady, you're going to need a minute. But, yeah, that's the only reason I don't like SoCal. Just a little.
I dig it. Well, heck yeah, Drew. Man, it's been fun time with you, dude.
You too, man.
This has been good, man. I'm glad we finally got to do it. And, yeah, brother. I'm looking forward to all the stuff you're putting out, though. Like, it's good trash. Love using your stuff. So it's an honor for us having you here, for me to have you here as well, brother. So thank you, man. And I'm sure I'll see you out there on the interwebs. If not, I'll chase you down another state. We'll get it in.
Let's do it.
All right, brother. Take care. And if you haven't already, get your tickets for the Protector Symposium. The first annual Protector Symposium is taking place in Riverside, California, November 15th and 16th. We've got an all-star lineup of seriously elite trainers. Yosef Badu, Ed Caldrone, and Mike Pannone are all going to be there teaching and instructing us on our common goal, how to make good people more dangerous. So no matter what your background is, you're going to learn skills around the one unifying principle of protection. Get your tickets. Spots are going quickly. And remember, you're going to get over $100 worth of value back in different things that you're going to get from our sponsors with your purchase of a ticket. Check the website out, Byron Rodgers Motivation, for ticket information and to learn more. Out. Boom. And to support this podcast, go to executiveprotectionlifestyle.com and contribute to our Patreon account. That Patreon account is what helps me make this podcast possible, contributing to this brand, what we're doing here, making it so that I can bring better guests on, making it so that we can plan more events and just expand the contribution to the private security industry, and also to making America a safer place by teaching people how to protect themselves and the mindset behind that, the lifestyle behind that. You guys are already killing it. $1 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, $20 a month, whatever you can do that you know you would probably just lose in the mattress anyway or spend on McDonald's. Hey, you want to put it towards something that's going to good use, put it towards a podcast, and get involved in our Patreon account at executiveprotectionlifestyle.com. And if you want to find me, that's byronrodgersmotivation.com. Do whatever you can, contribute whatever you can to that Patreon account, because it makes all of these things possible, ladies and gentlemen. So much love. Thank you, and thank you for making those contributions. You guys rock. We're already doing amazing there, and it's just because of you guys. So thanks once again for those contributions. Boom. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode of Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast. This whole entire thing actually just started off as a Facebook group that blew up and is one of the fastest growing, if not the fastest growing, executive protection Facebook group online. So if you haven't joined the Facebook group, join the Facebook group. Follow us on Instagram and check us out at executiveprotectionlifestyle.com. If you want to find me, that's ByronRodgersMotivation.com, and I'm on all the social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook as well. So until the next podcast, y'all, stay sharp out there. And as I say it, one mind, many weapons. Talk soon. Out.